This is the most important tree in the entire universe, and that's why bad creatures are going to come and try and eat our thick little tree. So to prevent that from happening, we're going to plant some pretty flowers all the way around our little tree, and we patiently wait for them to grow into something that's not a scraggly stick. And before long, they turn into beautiful, horrifying flowers. It's a very common scenario when you go for a walk in the woods. But since the flowers are ready, we ring the dinner bell and on come the enemies. They give us a warning beforehand of where exactly they're coming from. It's kind of rough, they're coming from the top. Most of my defenses are at the bottom, but these flowers should be able to reach them as they get just a little closer. They are going to try and eat that flower that we can't see, so that's also annoying. And their drops are hidden behind the tree. You know, you're really not helping me out. For how much I'm doing to protect you, you're kind of annoying. But that gave us some more money. We can also make bramble. In theory, lining all the outside with bramble would be perfect, but the space is too big. It's easier to do it in closer. So while I'm thinking, I'm going to plant some of these flowers so that they'll actually have time to grow, wherever I can fit them. And since they reach pretty far, I'm just going to kind of sporadically, yep, this is a very educated defense. I guess I couldn't check, see where the trees actually come from. So they're coming from here, they're coming from here. Right about here is going to be a focal point, so we'll put some brambles like that. And same thing here, they're all going to beeline for the tree, so something like here, here, here. They've arrived. The brambles damage increases as they grow apparently, so that might be little damage so far. I've got a lot of faith that all of these pea shooters and the spikes can easily destroy these guys. So far it's no problem at all. Take that, you mask wearing weirdos. They didn't even make it to the spikes, but I put the spikes in a good spot. So we're just going to add maybe a few more here. We're very safe on that corner, and we'll sort of add a row of spikes over here, and they're going to come from the top corner over here as well, so we're just going to make sure we're trying to cover our angles. And then of course a few more pea shooters. You can never have too much defense. Some of the spikes are getting bigger, so we'll see how these waddling morons like that. I'm hoping they start taking fire from the flowers as they're walking over the spikes for a double whammy. In a perfect world, they would die before ever getting to the spikes anyway. These guys don't have spikes. But these guys don't need spikes. They're under a lot of fire from all of them. So far, my flowers have been actually really up to the task. This is a multi-stage wave though, so eventually, obviously, they're going to start coming from all sides at once, which is going to divert firepower in all directions. I just want to see someone walk over spikes. Is that too much to ask? Oh, he's doing it. He got to the spikes. Yeah, that's going to work out really well. They're still coming in hot and still getting absolutely destroyed, and we're only working with the first two towers. So let's go ahead and sort of finish our row of spikes for now. Definitely won't regret this later. But these are pretty cheap anyway, so there we are. And with the rest of the money, we'll just fill in some of the gaps with some more flowers. I think these beautiful morons do act as a line of defense themselves because they'll start to get eaten as the enemies get closer, which is good because it's this guy we're trying to protect. The next wave is going to attack from pretty much everywhere, and we're absolutely just going to let that happen. We have enough of our pea shooters that I'm feeling very safe. Nothing's going to get anywhere close to us, at least where we have these basic idiots. The plants might prioritize whoever's closest. I'm not really sure how they work, but either way, they gotta walk through spikes to get to me. I can also be mean and just put spikes directly in the path of some of these guys. They're gonna cross somewhere here, so I'll just go like that, and just for fun, you guys can have some spikes up there too. Some of our oldest spikes are getting very big at this point. Everyone's getting absolutely destroyed, and we're getting rich. Long story short, wave complete. We've got $2,000 to spend. I'm not actually going to spend any of that because wave 5 we get a new thing that's coming up soon. And I believe in my plant-based army to defend just as it is. This wave is definitely a lot more numerous for enemies, but they're still just the basic idiots, so they're not really able to get anywhere close to me. This guy had to walk across 2 spikes, so he took like 1 little pea before he died. Oh, we're starting to get stronger enemies now. They can actually shoot back at us. So the spikes could have been out just a touch further, so they'll get spiked as they start shooting our poor little flowers. But I can always start doing that now. So wherever I see those big dummies coming in from, I just put some spikes sort of in front of them and hope that they get really spiked before they get close, and then they'll just take a little extra damage. They're definitely taking out some of our flowers at this point, but I'm ready to sacrifice absolutely everything to protect our very important tree. We've unlocked a hedge wall. A defensive wall-like plant does not attack, gets stronger as it grows. I'm not really sure I understand that. So it looks like there's simply just a barrier that are going to slow enemies down a little bit. So before doing anything, we need to replace some of our pea shooters. And apparently the enemies just start coming after a certain while. Okay, they can actually attack from a ways out. I was hoping to put spikes on this side of them, but this will work out fine. As things die, we'll find the weak spots. For now, I am going to add a few hedges on the inner perimeter. That way enemies have to walk up their stand on spikes while eating the hedges. This will all form into some useful plan at some point. That hedge is just simply getting eaten, but his sacrifice is why we're here, really. We're making a lot of money. Those hedges really can absorb a lot of damage. So we're going to fit a few more in here just to make sure that no one can get close. They need to stand on spikes and get bombarded by these guys. Probably would have been a bit smart to make more of a layered defense. But brambles are only 75, so we're going to add a few more of those in some of the high traffic areas, or what seem like high traffic areas. That way they can really get hurt on the way in. And the longer they grow for, the more damage they do. So far, we made an unstoppable fortress, and I'm very proud of my creation. Some of those actually got pretty close to the hedge wall at this point, so I think I need to add a few more pea shooters just to make sure things are not going to get close. The hedges were just kind of let grow for a while. I want to try and rim the whole outer perimeter with spikes. That way anything that has to come anywhere close to me needs to take a little damage just to step on the board. And those are just going to grow for the next 2,000 waves anyway. Those hedges are absorbing a bit of damage, but it's almost worth it just to let the daisies die because they're a lot cheaper. You can just replace the daisies pretty easily. Waves are getting a little more intense at this point. And we can actually eliminate the enemies off of the board too, so that gives us a little more options. We can have a little more range. So far things are going pretty well. I need to add a few more spikes to finish off my perimeters and to just replace a few of the daisies occasionally that die. I think this one works out pretty good because they almost have to sit on the spikes when they fire, so they'll hopefully take an extra tick of damage. The wave is complete. I'm going to add more spikes just because I'm already committed to this stupid idea. Then we're maybe going to add some hedges in some spots just to make sure there's no direct line for the idiots to come into. I feel like I should just sit here and wait for 6 hours for everything to grow, but I definitely don't have that kind of patience. Get in here, morons. Come get killed. Probably need a few defensive hedges over here, but for now they have to walk over the spikes and then they get absolutely bombarded once they get close. So these guys do fire. They stop and fire, but then they keep walking, so they've still got to walk over spikes and get closer. The closer you get into the center, the more danger you're in. The biggest problem I'm having so far is killing enemies off of my screen, so I need to scroll around to make sure I'm picking up all the money they drop. The defenses are more than enough for these morons so far. My original spikes are getting so big now. By the end of this, they're going to be really dangerous. Hopefully I won't need any other towers. I just placed some new hedges, which maybe wasn't smart because they're already absorbing damage. We already lost a hedge, so I should plant those in between rounds. I did also lose a few down here, so I might need to change that around, but we're going to have losses. That's the way war works. Just finished the wave, so I have $3,000. That's a fine little gap there. We can put a few of those there. I wonder if it's a bad or good idea to put a few of these guys just sort of around the outside, just to get some damage going on sooner. They'll probably die fairly quickly, but they will also get some of the enemies out there, so they're well weakened by the time they get anywhere close to the important stuff. I've even put a few way out here just to see what happens. Some of my original hedges are getting very big too, so these are going to be extra tough. And a few of the other ones just popped up to that size as well, but the enemies auto start after a little while, so you can only milk it for so long, but a lot of our things are hitting the next stage. And our lone little flower out there, we'll call them the sacrificial flowers, are already getting some damage in on the enemies. And on the bottom, some of the hedges are taking some heat, but we're just going to keep on firing on everything everywhere, trying to pick up that money. This new and improved defense actually is working well so far. I don't know if we lost any of our outer flowers. We have a new type of enemy coming in. They're rather quick. They can run right into our daisies and start munching on them pretty quickly and even kill them. I think the best way to counter a quick enemy is to lay down spikes. They can be quick all they want, but they got to get spiked to get close to me. And those spikes especially are doing big damage at this point. The inner circle is very hard to penetrate. With the amount of money we have, we can almost fill the entire thing with spikes at this point. I'm just turning nature's floor into spikes. The next wave is starting. I sat there and waited for as long as I could to help the spikes grow. They got a little ways there. And that's perfectly fine because now the enemies have to walk through all sorts of spikes to get anywhere close to us. They did manage to take out a few of our daisies, so we're just going to replace those as we can. They actually attack the seeds right away, so that's not great. But that's okay. Maybe I'll just laugh at them as they walk over my million spikes on the way in. Yeah, we'll probably let the spikes do most of the work moving forward because the spikes, as far as I can tell, are unkillable. The daisies can die. They obviously have the advantage of range, but if the enemies just have to walk over spikes anyway, they'll just constantly take all sorts of damage. They still can't really get through that layer. They can kill the outer daisies, but they can't get close to my inner daisies. They get stuck on the hedges and the spikes. These guys are a little more the concern because they're so quick, but they do have to go through all of that, by which point they're dead. We've got Missile Bell. Fires anti-air homing projectiles at flying enemies, so I assume we're getting a new enemy type. So let's go ahead and remove a few of the daisies because we're clearly going to need a few of these things. That also kind of makes me regret a lot of the spikes we placed down. But for now, we're just going to load up with some more daisies on the outside and we'll build things as we need them. To start the wave, no flying enemies. I did do some more rows of daisies on the outer perimeter just to help slow them down a little bit on the outside. We're on wave 11 and so far we're making it look pretty easy. Nothing's got anywhere close to me and I haven't seen any flying enemies yet. We did lose one little daisy right here, but I won't miss it. But now the stronger idiots are coming in. They're also getting really exploded on the spikes. I do like how they try and go around the hedges and just get really badly spiked. And the hardest wave of this wave, and we're still doing just fine. Oh, I found our first flying enemy. It's like a balloon dripping paint on the ground. This is good. There's only 4 of them so far and they're very slow, so we'll see how tough they are. The spikes are obviously going to do nothing for them. The anti-air defenses, however, certainly will, and we've already popped at least one of them, so we're going to be fine. But I assume that's going to get a little bit harder as time goes on, so I'm going to replace a few of my innermost daisies with these. And then the longer time goes on anyway, the stronger my spikes get and the stronger the hedges get, so ground forces are fighting a losing battle. Wave 12 starts with more of the same. The flying enemies will probably come later. For now it's ground-based idiots who just slowly trot over my spikes. There are a lot more of them, but that's why we have all those spikes, so they can basically walk to their own deaths. Might have to place a few more daisies down here and there, but for now we're just going to let them spike themselves. Well, they killed a few daisies here and there, but I mean it's $100 to replace those. They'll probably kill those, but they still have to stop and kill those before they move on. So they act like a defensive hedge in themselves. They're less tough, but they're really quick and cheap to throw down. Oh, look at him. He almost made it through. Well, he did really make it through. Got a hole? Plug it with a daisy. And we're onto the flying moron part of this wave. They'll have no chance at all because our air defenses are even better than before. As long as they can hit the target they're aiming for, which, fine. The air defenses actually give us sort of a slight advantage because they so slowly come in. It gives daisies time to grow and time for other things to grow as well. The wave is done and we've unlocked fertilizer. That simply increases a plant's stats for a limited time, so I guess we'll just use that on whatever's the busiest plant. It is pretty expensive. I can use it on spikes. Oh, that's going to be fun. The enemies are incoming now. I'm going to wait for something stronger to come in, then I'm going to juice up some of the other things to see exactly how strong they get. Like this little guy's going to be particularly busy, and so is this one. So is he firing quicker? Is he firing stronger? It's a little bit hard to tell, but he's better. Those hedges are getting munched down in a bit of a hurry, so we'll just give a few of our... We should probably actually, juice up some of these guys in here because they're not likely to die anyway. This wave definitely is a lot more intense than the previous ones, but with our extra juicy power, we're going to be just fine. The flying idiots aren't getting anywhere close, at least that I saw. I think our tree is probably still very happy. I assume he's at 100 health the whole time. Yeah, even his strong guys are now getting pretty evaporated by the tougher daisies. And I didn't even change anything there. We're just going to go for the next wave and maybe juice up a few things with fertilizer. I guess if we have all the money, why wouldn't we just spend it on extra power flowers? The outer perimeter of our inner flowers are all going to get stronger, including our AA defenses. Maybe a few of our spikes right in the busy locations. This way, nothing is going to get anywhere close to us. I don't know if it's worth it to spend it on the spikes or not. We're losing a few flowers here and there. Yeah, I guess we could use up a few of the spikes in the particularly high busy areas. We're mostly onto AA now anyway. Definitely lost a few daisies there, and so we'll just replace them with more daisies. More high-powered spikes for the particularly annoying bunch. The wave is done. I have $21,000. So I'm just going to bring on the next wave. The more they sparkle, the more dangerous they are. He's about to run over probably several sparkly spikes. And is that going to stop him in his tree? It is. Probably need to do that in a few other key locations too, because there's a lot of these guys coming in everywhere. Maybe I could just... Yeah, I've got so much money, I'm just going to sort of go like this, and that's going to help us out in a big way. Because if I don't know what to spend my money on, I might as well just spend it on even temporary upgrades. Upgraded some of the hedges too. Not sure how much I care about them, but you know what? They're doing their part. Inanimate objects matter too. I think we might have lost a hedge down on the bottom. Maybe we need a little more spiky goodness. If anything, at least I've created a very, very sparkly garden. And while we're waiting for the rest of the idiots to come in, we're going to go ahead and plant a few daisies that are going to be another good line of defense for us. I just sort of hope they grow in time. We're going to add a few more spiky defenses and upgrade some hedges and whatever. I'm just going to click away. Oh, actually, we're running out of money. I didn't even realize that. But that's fine. I think we went probably overkill on the defenses this time because things are basically just touching the spikes and exploding. Wave 15 complete. We've unlocked Rocket Plant. Fires itself at the enemy in an explosion blast and splash damage. I think that means those are going to be better suited to the inside because as the enemies come from all their spots, they tend to make a beeline for the tree, so the closer they get, the more they bunch up, especially once they start hitting and trying to eat our flowers. I laid a few of them down for now. We'll let this get started. I will also give the rockets some upgrades to make sure they're maximum power. Okay, turns out those rockets have a lot of range on them. I didn't think they'd be able to shoot that far, but even when they miss, they seem to just keep going. Maybe their fire rate isn't that high, so maybe that's what their sort of downside is. And there's a lot of enemies coming in anyway, so they'll definitely get exploded everywhere they can. Yeah, these rockets really do have unlimited range, and that's going to be good because it can defend from multiple sides that way. Well, the sparkly spikes are running out. That's sad. I don't know if I want to spend any more money on sparkly spikes right now anyway. I think what I'll probably do instead is replace some of these inners with rockets. Oh, that was the end of the wave also. But rockets might as well take up this inner space as much as they can because they have unlimited range, so they'll be able to hit anything anywhere. I am back up to almost 20,000 And wow, they really killed that thing with prejudice. All of my sparkly spikes have mostly worn off by now, but that's okay. All the spikes I'm pretty sure are like fully matured at this point. If not, they're very high damage, whatever the case. And the outer daisies are doing their job well. Things stop to eat them and then they get rocket exploded. This guy's new. Didn't see him before. Okay, since he's just a giant black slug, we'll make sure that especially hurts. Yeah, here he goes. I don't know where the rockets, there they go. The rockets weren't hitting him, but he's now got to walk over sparkly spikes and quite a few of them. So I'm sure that's gonna hurt. At least I hope it does. Now also these guys are, oh, never mind. He's dead. I think the sparkly spikes were really just too much for him. He might have actually destroyed some of the spikes. I didn't know that was even a thing, but we'll put some flowers out there. Then it was just a matter of taking out like 3 airborne idiots and I've got 30 grand to spend on whatever I want. Oh, we can insta-grow now. $400, send a plant to its final size, which most of these already are. In fact, I think everything that can be maximum size is maximum size. Let's bring on the next wave. Turns out my spike-based defense is actually really, really strong. Mostly because the spikes are pretty much invulnerable and everything just takes damage from walking on them. We got another boss coming in up here, so we'll go ahead and give it some more sparkly spikes. I feel like he's not going to last long on there. He's going to walk onto the spikes and get evaporated like the last one did. Oh, look at all the money. Oh, he is absorbing his spikes. I heard them. So while we're waiting, let's get a few max level hedges there to replace that. And we got to put some spikes back that we can instantly get to max level though. It's not cheap, but we're really rich anyway. I guess while we're at it, we might as well fertilize pretty much everything because we have the money to do so. At least the outer edge. That way, at least for anything to get to us, they got to go through big damage spikes. And we just got a few AA idiots left. I'm glad they died quickly because my sparkles don't last forever. So make the next wave come. So far, my incredible defenses seem to be holding up very well. Everything's getting absolutely obliterated. I'm pretty sure I could just sit back and relax at this point and everything's going to get melted. There is a big boy coming from over there. And there's also one coming from up there. We got multiple bosses coming in. So they are going to come in and destroy this. Well, he didn't destroy any spikes. This one will though, because he can get a little bit closer. He's going to absorb some of the spikes, but those spikes are also going to absorb him. But watch the slow, painful, suffering death of this moron. I'm also just going to replace those spikes with rockets. I'm just going to start putting rockets everywhere. They seem to be just a lot of fun. I figure this way with all of our money, we can transition to a rocket defense that might work suitably well, or it might be horrible. It's no spikes after all. We finished that wave. I've got $40,000 now. We're actually just making a lot of profit. So we're going to go ahead and remove a few of the spikes that probably haven't really done anything in a long time anyway, and just replace them with rockets. Nothing's been able to break through these hedges anyway, so we might as well put something better behind them, and then things will get even less close to the inner circle. I added a lot of rockets, so things are going to be kind of ridiculous. And then we're also going to sparkle all the rockets too, just to make sure we're really doing maximum damage. And you know what? I'm just going to start sparkling everything again. We might as well spend this money. We're making it faster than we're spending anyway. This seems to be working better. Nothing's getting anywhere close to our stuff anymore. Here comes another big boy. I think he's going to be evaporated quickly. Is he different? He's got teeth. Did the other ones have teeth? I can't, well, he's dead. He wasn't that special. I think we did lose a tower or two there somehow. I wasn't really paying attention because I didn't care. I was just lost in the sound of explosions. If the rockets are on the outer edge too, they can actually attack enemies like way off the map. So they're actually killing stuff where we can't see them. I'm pretty sure what we needed all along is walls of rockets. These should be able to kill everything instantly, even off the map. Whatever that was is probably dead. Yeah, this is a little better. I'm still not sure we have enough rockets, though. Ooh, here comes another boss. He's gonna be in trouble once these rockets are ready to fire. Never mind. Decided to upgrade my defenses a little bit more because escalation is key. That's actually really loud on my ears. Those are loud rockets. But I feel like our defenses are gonna be adequate, being that we're not even able to find any enemies yet. There's our first one, and there he goes. So the rockets basically fire in sequence. You can see the outer ones fire and take all the enemies out, so the inner ones wait for any enemies to survive long enough to be in range. But spoiler alert, there's not going to be a lot of enemies in range. We still have enough AA in the center to stop these guys. That sound actually hurts my ears and gives me a headache, which means we're probably doing things right finally. I did want to see a boss versus these rockets, but I think we probably already did. He just died off the screen somewhere. Like that could have been a boss. Oh, there's a boss. Nope, never mind. That was wave 22. We lost 0 towers throughout that. But that's because the rockets are able to kill everything right away. Anything that spawns on the map gets 800 rockets fired in its face instantly. Now, for anyone wondering, this game is called Grow Your Garden because I know a lot of people are going to ask. Mission accomplished, we protected the tree. We're about to unleash the most terrifying and destructive plague that's ever been seen in the universe. And we're going to give it to Australia. And considering how destructive this actually is, we really should be playing on super brutal mode. But we've infected our first human. We're weak and used to hot temperatures, but we must evolve. The more people that get infected, the more points we get. TikTok is a virus. This means it randomly mutates and rapidly and can be hard to control. It costs DNA points to devolve. It sure does, and that's why we need to make it as effective as possible without making it too severe or lethal yet. We want it to spread as much as possible before people realize how bad it is. That's going to be difficult because it's TikTok, people know what it is. And because all of its mutations are very expensive, we're just going to have to let it spread naturally for a little bit, but we've already got 4 whole people. That's the amount of people that are going to watch this video. We have increased rainfall, that's not really going to matter because we're in Australia where I don't know if it's ever rained. Medicine in Australia is slowing the infection. It is a pretty wealthy country with good healthcare. I guess that makes sense, it has to be, it's Australia where everything wants to kill you. First up, we're going to spend $7 dues for collaboration. That's going to increase our infectivity without making it too severe, so no one's going to worry very much about it. And then for 10 points, local idols advertising. Local idols tell fans about TikTok increasing infectiousness in rich and urban countries. Perfect. Except the urban part, but you know, it'll spread. Don't worry, little fella, one day you'll have cities. And we had a natural mutation, giving up hygiene symptom. So that means kids are losing hygiene from sitting at TikTok pages, and that's not too bad. We're just going to leave that there. That did bring the severity up a little bit, but sometimes you just gotta let things run their course. We've officially infected hundreds in Australia, so half the population is infected. It's getting awfully spotty down there. We've infected thousands. Australia is officially doomed. And it's spreading. We hit South America and Europe. Next, we're going to get representatives. Representatives of companies are traveling to random countries that look at the infectivity of that go up. I also got Climate Protect. TikTok isn't making phones more hot or cold, so they'll be able to evolve in extreme environments like Australia. Okay, we hit New Zealand. That's good because it's an island that's hard to get to, and there's lots of population down in this corner. And we just need to gently nudge it forward as we go. I think that was China. We hit Turkey. And look at that. From the airport, it's spreading all over the world. We're going to way down to the middle. We have this very happy looking one. Brands organizing TikTok competitions and events very much increases infectivity. The more we get into the center, the better things are going to be. Again, this really doesn't need much help, and I think we just hit North America with that one. Giving up toilet symptom mutated. People are so addicted to this wonderful creation that kids are giving up toilet and peeing themselves, so hygiene is falling apart quickly. This video is basically a PSA to the dangers of social media. TikTok has infected more people in the world than tuberculosis. It's a very infectious disease. Yeah, you're not wrong. It's getting all over the world in a real big hurry. They're aware of it. A new minor disease is spreading. It appears harmless, but must be investigated further. Yeah, you might want to look into that. It's gonna get bad. The first official death in Australia. It's time to celebrate. We'll start making some points now, that's for sure. I can hardly keep up with how fast it's getting around. It's wildly popular. It's already actually killed 182 people in Australia, so that's odd. I guess that means kids are peeing themselves to death at this point because there's no other reason it could be killing them. We're going to add billboards in megacities. That's going to help increase infectivity. I think I also need more temperature protect because it's got to get into those extreme areas. And famous singers, actors, and other stars are advertising TikTok. We're paying them big to spread my disease. Its infectivity is already through the roof. So its infectivity is going up, its severity is going up, and its lethality is still very low, and that's perfect. We have 110,000 daily infections and only 7 daily deaths, so it's mostly going to fly under the radar. Giving up eating is mutated. I'm probably going to have to demutate that because that's a pretty important one. We're definitely into Scandinavia and North America. Kids don't want to eat. As funny as that is, we can't have that yet. That's going to get too much attention. That's going to kill people. And we hit the Great White North up there in Canada, whatever they do up there. Australia is actually starting work on a cure. I'm not entirely sure why yet. I guess we have killed 416 people. So the 6 doctors in Australia are hard at work, but we're going to stop deaths for a while just to make sure it's not getting too much attention, and we're also going to start slowing the cure because we got to make sure this is really getting around. More infectious than HIV, that's something to be proud of. We're definitely getting a lot of good red clusters around the world. Addiction system is mutated. That's going to be a good one. When did terrorism evolve? TikTokers are terrorizing normal persons. I feel like that's probably why we started killing people, and that's why we got attention. I mean, I guess I should have known that was going to happen, but I just didn't notice it. Kids are using TikTok nonstop, so that naturally evolved. That, insomnia, children skip nights using TikTok. That makes it too severe. That's funny and dangerous, but we'll get to that later. So the only remaining countries are Greenland, Iceland, and Morocco. And TikTok has affected more people than the common cold. I need some boats to get up here into these islands. I think we just got Morocco with that one. Australia shut down its airport. I doubt it has more than one. And they're back to giving up eating, so we're going to have to devolve that. This thing just really wants to go haywire. That's going to cost me 10 points just to undo that. I really need TikTok to get up here into these islands now. Oh, we got Iceland. And I think we just got Greenland as well. Insomnia's back again. This thing's just going wild with mutations. We're just about at the tipping point, but for now I'm going to get rid of Insomnia because I don't want things to be that severe yet. I want to have everyone infected, but I don't really want them dying. Giving up eating's also gotta go. That way it's still a very harmless disease. Except for kids peeing themselves to death. Giving up eating came back again. Alright, well at this point we might just have to let it go. We need to get more of Greenland and Iceland infected though, otherwise they're going to start to cure it. It's funny how you just, this wasn't even me. I just sort of let TikTok out into the world and it did this by itself. So far we have 7 billion people infected, 400,000 are left that are healthy, mostly in Greenland and Iceland. Something did also just evolve, but the faster it spreads, Rage symptom mutated. TikTok is mutated and developed the rage. When videos aren't okay, kids get raged. Yep, they sure do. Promotion of murders. Kids are demoralized. TikTokers say killing is good. We say killing is good, and kids, yeah, let's just give that now. And let's add a little bit of casual terrorism in there as soon as we can. We need a few more points for that, but I feel like it's already too late for the world. It's too infectious. Terrorism, oh, it came up naturally as it does with TikTok. And they're definitely starting to try and cure this, but they're also going to be dying. Terrorism too mutated by itself. This thing is a wildfire. So at this point, there's no healthy people left. That's perfect. We just need to start them killing each other faster. 7 billion people infected, only 25 million dead. I thought we'd have bigger numbers by now. And now we have bad talk, which is actually great. Installing viruses to TikTok. It can kill from watching videos, but easier to cure. But that also made lethality and severity way up there. Next, we're going to get eye blind. Bad talk eradicates and kills users from watching. Very dangerous. I suspect that's supposed to be radiate. Like you watch TikTok and it like shines radiation beams into your eyes and sort of just melts things. I mean, if you're already watching TikTok, there's not a lot left in there to melt, but you know. We've killed more than a Black Death and we're not stopping there. Eye blind symptom mutated. I didn't even know that was a thing. Oh, that was the one we were just looking at. I forget the names because I thought it was bad talk, but lethality, severity, it's all quite high up there. Its severity and lethality went from 0 to 100 in such a hurry. I guess I'm probably just going to save up a little bit more for Terrorism 3 just to make it a little bit more dangerous, because somehow it's not there yet. We've killed more than the Spanish flu. Oh, and Terrorism 3 just evolved itself, so that's kind of handy. TikTok just really escalates itself. Don't have to baby it along at all. You just let it out there into Australia and it does the rest. We've killed over 300 million people throughout this little world. While we're at it, we might as well take out the small pages ad. I like how at this point we've killed over 300 million people, like legitimately a large population of the entire world, and the cure is only 15% done. People just aren't really caring. They're probably too addicted to TikTok to, you know, do science and doctor stuff, so we don't even have to really prevent them from curing anything. They're just addicted to their phones. Global research focused on cure. You know what? That's fantastic. Because half the world population is literally dead. 50%, we just Thanos snapped the world, and now they're like, you know what, we should probably go ahead and cure this thing. And that's really funny because that's probably realistically what would happen in the world. So with that optimistic thought, we're going to evolve Anti-Cure 2 just to make sure they really can't slow this thing down. I don't even know when this one showed up. Creators Guards. Creators of TikTok are protected by police and FBI, prevents interviews and leaks. That puts lethality way up. That's like a 15% increase on top of already something very dangerous. So now we just sort of sit back and relax again and let it destroy the world. There's really very little left for it to do. So in Australia, we've killed 21 million people. There's only 2 million left that are healthy. As healthy as you can be for, you know, living in the desert. I want to give a big shout out to Australia this video. I've really been giving them a hard time. Now we're going to buy school trends. Kids at school are using TikTok. I don't think schools exist anymore, but I just want to see more of these, what it can turn into. Classmates Revolution? Sure, why not? And this one looks fun. Cool teachers. Teachers want to be cool in recording TikTok videos, increasing infectiousness and severity from cringe. The cringe severity is going way, way up. We just need a few more DNA points. So if more of you could just die a little bit, that would be really great for me. I don't think there's that many people left to die now that I look at it. I thought the game was paused, but it's just, yeah, there's only 300,000 people left. TikTok to destroy humanity. Yeah, no kidding. There's 195 people left and they're dead. We've officially done it. TikTok has officially successfully eliminated all life on Earth. Since that was actually really, really easy, let's try to make it brutal to see if TikTok can punch through these defenses. Doctors invest in research, random medical checkups. I accidentally clicked West Africa, so that's where we're starting. So basically, I just really, really need to be careful of what automatically evolves and just the same strategy as last time. Make it very infectious without being too dangerous, and that's tough because it randomly mutates. For now, we'll just sit there and admire one little baby red dot, now it has a friend. probably going to need some resistance to hot. Climate protect. We're just going to get that right away. I don't know if it matters what order we do things in this early, as long as we don't make it too dangerous too quickly. See, already we've mutated giving up hygiene symptoms. And that did put the severity up, so we might have to undo that because I'm going to be that diligent about it. So luck is going to play into this a little bit. I didn't know there was a slider over there. Look at that. We're in, we're out, we're in, we're out. But I need to be very careful of how I spend my points. I might also always need to maintain a bit of a surplus of points because something stupid's going to evolve itself and we're going to have to unevolve it. But for now, we're going to buy collaboration. That's going to add infectivity way up. And then we just sit back and we jumped over to Germany somehow. I assume that went over on a boat and landed in a Northern European port. Giving up hygiene is mutated. We'll take a look exactly at how bad that is. That did put the severity up. So let's spend all of our points to undo that. That one we probably could have lived with, but then if it jumps to the next step along there, I think peeing themselves to death, that's going to get attention. Okay, we're spreading around the African continent a bit more. We're going to find a way to hopefully make it a little more infectious pretty soon, but I'm very hesitant to spend points still. And it mutated and gave us terrorism. This is why I can't have nice things. It's not that lethal, but it's pretty severe, and I can't even afford to undo that now. I need some red dots to show up so I can undo terrorism. Okay, I think I need to take a bit of a risk here. I need to add some infectivity to this somewhere, so we're going to get local idols advertising. Terrorism is just going to have to sit for now. It doesn't seem too dangerous to anyone. Eventually, this wild random mutation thing is going to work in my favor, but for now, it's really getting people's attention too quickly. And giving up hygiene has once again showed up, and we might just have to let it sit there, otherwise I'm not going to be able to afford anything new. Well, at the very least, Northern Africa is getting it pretty hard, and I think we just hit France. We're still spreading around. Once Africa, West Africa here gets really packed up, all the ships leaving there should take it everywhere, like that one's headed for Brazil, which we might have already infected. Giving up toilet has mutated. I am going to spend half my points to get rid of the terrorism thing because that cuts severity in half and knocks lethality like all the way down. Then it's just a harmless disease that have people addicted to their phones, so, you know, welcome to the real world. This is definitely harder because we've obviously clearly spread throughout Western Africa and it's still not really escaping very quickly. But we need to make it more infectious, but it's hard because we have to keep undoing the terrorism evolution. And West Africa, for some reason, wants to cure this little disease. They're not working very quickly yet, so I'm not overly worried about it. Okay, we spread to a few more countries, and that means we can get representatives. That puts infectivity way up without really changing much else. So I'm hoping now we see a nice little explosion just like that. Now we're really starting to get around quicker and carrying this disease all over the place. So we're just going to hope that it spreads around rather quietly, and then we'll start to make it even more where we got addiction. I'm actually going to undo that. That's expensive, but that just puts the severity too high. This needs to fly under the radar for a long time. And I'm actually going to take out the small pages ad now. That's going to branch us into bigger things, and I just need to get cheap upgrades when I can. I think we also just hit North America officially, so that's going to help get more of that. Getting Iceland and Greenland are always a problem. But I think we more or less spread to the continents, except maybe Australia. I said so many bad things about it that it's going to play hard to get this time around. We hit New Zealand. That infectivity really made a big difference. Okay, we hit Madagascar and Australia there. I think they're pretty much the same thing. So I'm going to buy brand events. That's obviously not too severe, but very infectious. Games and app ads. That's going to make it more infectious again. And then ultra temperature protect. That way it can really thrive in those weird temperatures. Alright, terrorism is mutated. It really wants to be terrorism. We did just hit Iceland though. See, TikTok's too strong. We've already almost got the entire world and this is on ultra brutal or whatever. So Greenland's going to be the harder one, but I'm hoping we get a ship to jump over from Iceland because they're good friends. We're going to take terrorism away again. That way hopefully no one notices what's going on. Okay, we just got, I think Thailand or something down here. I'm going to buy anti-cure right now. That way, because they're going to start the cure. And I feel like once they start, they're really going to go. We just got placed on a watch list. Yeah, we're more infection than a common cold. We need Greenland. Addiction is mutated again. I'm not that worried about it now. We just need one boat to get there. And then we can really just sort of let this thing go. They're starting to shut down air and seaports. Insomnia is mutated. I'm going to have to slow this down a little bit. The problem is Iceland doesn't have a lot of infections, so the chance of a boat leaving here with an infected person is basically whatever that is, 3%. So I'm going to take away giving up toilet and maybe whatever this one is. That's very expensive, but that's going to take severity down. Really just need the world to not take this that seriously. UK is leading the global cure effort. Well, that's just what it is. Yeah, Greenland is definitely the lone country holding out on us now, and it's not guaranteed we're going to get it. So Iceland really needs to go. It's getting big chunks of it taken out. Ooh, that cure is going up quick. At this point, I might just have to take my points and make it really dangerous. because I don't know if we're going to get to Greenland anyway. We have infected most of the world. There's only a few million healthy, and some of which are going to be in Greenland, but everyone else is already doomed. Oh, Greenland shut down its seaport, so we couldn't quite get it. Well, we'll go back to making this dangerous, then we're going to go give up eating, and then next we could buy promotion of murders, and that's always a big one. And once people start dying en masse, we'll get more points again. The world is 20% of the way done, but they'll start dying, and Terrorism 2 is mutated. So this is exactly when the mutations work for our favor, because they'll mutate and get all the really expensive things I couldn't afford otherwise, like Terrorism 3. If I've learned anything from playing Plague Inc., it's that if in case of emergency, go to Greenland. Promotion of Murders bought itself. That's fantastic. Because that one really makes things dangerous, and from there I can hopefully get Bad Talk. It costs 62 points, so if it could buy itself, I would be okay with that. And it actually just bought itself that, so people are going to start dying real quick. And Eye Blind also came right behind that. So right now we could probably just put it on speed 3 and we watch a population drop. Basically, we need to watch this number drop more than this number goes up. Yeah, look at that. There's now 20% of the world left. The cure is halted at 38%. I'm really annoyed we didn't get Greenland. So basically, we're going to be left with whatever the population of Greenland is healthy, which looks to be about 56,000. So from there, they can rebuild the Earth, but it might take a minute. Working further down the thing, television and social media. That actually has a lot of infectivity, but it's always hard to buy this because it's really expensive and you gotta work your way into the middle like that. But considering that was mega brutal, we almost did it. It was just a little bit of luck that we didn't get Greenland. Today we're gonna upgrade our picks, and we're not gonna stop until we have something world breaking. Now we all know the original pick. Made of wood and not that fun. It mines a single basic block this fast. Luckily for us, we don't have to wait long for an upgrade. This would create the next pickaxe, which is the stone pickaxe, but if I had an amethyst shard to either side, it turns into the mystic stone pickaxe. So that's going to start to help us mine a little bit quicker. Okay, maybe a lot quicker. I didn't expect the first one to be this powerful, but that's a good sign. We're going places today. This one does leave the ore and stuff behind, so I still have to mine that manually. And we're going to need some of that coal for food, because I am going to do this semi-legitimately. I just wanted an excuse to kill the cows. Well, now that I got that established, the next pickaxe is made out of iron, so we need to find some of that. So we're just going to poke around with this pickaxe until we find some, and it really shouldn't take that long at all. We're going to have to be a little bit careful how we do this so we don't drop ourselves on our head. This really does make mining a lot quicker. I can kind of make giant stairs if I go like this and just go down a little layer at a time, and I already found some iron. So we'll just kind of dig around and see exactly how much of it is we got. And then as soon as I have 3 or more iron ingots, I can make the next pick. That is, of course, after I very legitimately mine up some amethyst. That's going to give us a mystic iron pickaxe. So let's see if my little elevator strategy is still going to work. Okay, that's perfect. One little step at a time as long as we're staying way far back. That mines a whole bunch for us. I don't know how big of a spot this is, but it's really big, and this is only the second pickaxe. There's still 8 more to go. For now, I'm going to use this unstoppable monster to find a little bit more iron so I can get an iron outfit. That way I have at least a little bit of armor to protect from all my stupidity. An unexpected benefit of the pickaxes too is it's not very easy to get lost. You just follow the massive tunnel back to the surface. So let's pretend for a sec that I mined way more iron than I actually did, and now we have full iron armor and some extra tools to help us along. The next pickaxe is made out of gold, so we're going to go find some of that, hopefully somewhere down below. I don't think the game liked what I just did. But since we have this nice big cave, we might as well utilize it to go deeper, and then we can go down to the gold level and mine away with our mega pickaxe. This makes it so much easier. Like, I've dropped down to about floor 26, so that means I can just tunnel around mining 1,000 blocks at a time. Good news, I found my first bit of gold. I did have to go that far, but I only had to swing my pickaxe like 4 times to do this. So now, pretending we made ourselves an oven and smelted all that gold, we would make a pickaxe using this magic recipe. Mystic Golden Pickaxe isolates and mines ores. So let's put it to the test over here. And yep, it mined the ores too, so that makes it a little bit quicker for me. Actually, that makes it a lot quicker. Especially because now we need to find diamonds to make any progress, and we're going to find those even deeper. I do really like how we kind of mine the useless stuff first, and then the ore lingers for a second and then breaks, so we get a look at what's actually here and where it is. Mission accomplished. Not only did we find this cluster of diamonds, we found one over here. So if we go ahead and take a little bite out of that wall, the diamond should break up momentarily, and then we have our first diamonds. This other cluster is bigger. I've got to use a regular pickaxe to do it, otherwise I'm going to explode myself down a hole. And in case you're wondering how far we had to mine to find those diamonds, we weren't going down very quickly, but we were going very far. We got to make gentle stairs to do it this way, but about this far from the main ravine. Now we're not only going to make a regular diamond pickaxe, but we're also going to make the mystic diamond pickaxe, mines netherstone types. Which I assume is the game's way of trying to tell me we have to go into the nether soon, but for now I need full diamond gear for that, so we're going to mine a little bit further using our bigger improved pickaxe. That's gonna break the game. That's a lot of ore. Oh, this one leaves the ores intact, so we don't have to mine it all. It just mines a bigger spot, but that's still good anyway, because we've got a lot of ground to look through, so if there's any diamonds, we definitely won't miss them. Even just this pickaxe is already almost too powerful, because it's making the game really struggle, and we're falling into holes very legally. Luckily, when we get into trouble, we can bravely run away. I'll feel a lot better once I have some diamond armor. I'm currently on floor minus 32, so there should be some diamonds kicking around here somewhere. It's just a matter of waiting for the game to catch up with itself. Now we're going to introduce some water physics to this mess, but I do see some diamonds up there. Okay, in this one little thing I just mined, there's actually one cluster of diamonds, 2 clusters, and one up there. And they say finding diamonds is hard. I accidentally tried to mine the diamonds with the wrong pickaxe, and the game really freaked out a little bit there. But we're okay still. I took one more little bite out of the wall, and there's 2 diamond clusters there and 1 more here. They're actually pretty common these days. I don't really know when all these loose materials start to despawn, but the game's gonna like it a lot better when they do. But for now, we're just gonna keep going until something breaks. Which might not take long. I definitely found a weird cluster of what seems to be iron up there. I've never seen that before, so that must be a new thing. But it's not diamond, so I could care less. Well, I pretty quickly mined up 36 diamonds, so we're gonna call that close enough to have us all geared out. Turns out that's more than enough to actually do that, so that's fine by me. Yeah, this seems a little bit better and safer. Now we can head to the nether. Now all I need to do is make a flint and steel and find some obsidian. Pretty sure there's usually gravel along water. Gravel has flint. 2 seconds later, I found one. So 1 flint and steel, now we maybe need a bucket. Because if I felt so inclined to actually do it legitimately, I could take this bucket of water to some lava. We're also going to make a little detour at this village. Because I can't help but wonder what happens if I mine out this guy's house. Okay, well, it mines out the ground from under it. Well, don't worry, I'm just improving their village a little bit. So if I use a diamond pickaxe to mine there, now he's got a flying house. Everyone wants one of those. Even a golem can come down here and play. There we go, everything's so much better now. And right beside the village I destroyed, there's a lava pool. I already kind of screwed this up, but is anyone really that surprised? And just like that, we have what we need to make the bare minimum of a nether portal. But we're not always here for the minimum now, are we? Sometimes you just gotta see how big you can make things, and that didn't actually take that long at all. The problem is apparently there's presumably a maximum size to how big you could make these things, because this portal doesn't seem to work. And that's very sad because there's 5 minutes of my time I'll never get back. Next, we have the deeply uncomfortable task of trying to mine netherite. And I really couldn't think of a worse spawn given how powerful my pickaxes are. I'm gonna punch right through and go down to oblivion. So before mining anything at all, I'm gonna take just a little look around. I'm already too impatient. We're gonna mine out whatever we can with that pickaxe. I'm sort of backing up as I do this. I hear lava, that's not great. I hear lava, I see a little bit of lava, I see a lot of lava, but we're okay. And of course, because of where we set the portal, we're right at the top, and we need to be basically at the bottom, which is somewhere way, way, way down there. And this is why these pickaxes are so dangerous here. I just mined down a few steps gently to see what kind of ground I was above, and it's really not great. Pretty sure I'm close enough to jump to that at least, and from here we can somewhat safely jump our way down. I decided for the sake of actually getting this done that I would just fly myself down roughly to the bottom. I realize this is still going to be almost impossible to do, but we're just going to go ahead and take a bite and watch the lava flow in on us. Hopefully we survive long enough to not die immediately. I guess the lava moving around the game has to slow down a little bit, so then we'll get a chance to move a little bit before the lava entirely takes us. That was really, really dangerous. And I still managed to light myself on fire with stationary lava. But I'm not going to give up yet. We need those better pickaxes, and I'll stop at nothing to get them. Here's what I was looking for, one ancient debris, but it's under a large lake of lava. So I'm going to consider that officially mined, all the ones we need to get some netherite. Realistically, these pickaxes just don't work well in the nether. They will absolutely kill you in an instant, so we've just come back up top. But we definitely got all the netherite we needed because I'm a filthy cheater, so we're going to go ahead and make the next pickaxe, which is the Mystic Netherite pickaxe that replaces the diamond one, and the process moves on. Now on top of this amazing new high-powered pickaxe, I've decided I earned some netherite gear just for funsies, so I'm going to go ahead and plop that on. And now it's time to find out what kind of a world destroyer this pickaxe is. That's a really, really big area in all directions. So we'll start mining our way down, and I think it's probably going to go pretty quick. It likes surface mining because there's not as many blocks up top. Okay, the water's coming in now, so we're just going to kind of go this way. I'm pretty sure there's some lava over here. They can fight it out. But this obviously mines pretty quickly. We'll just keep going down for a sec. We only take a little bit of fall damage anyway. I think we can actually mine faster than the water can fall. We could mine right to the bedrock faster than the water till that happens. I got a little caught up with the fun new pickaxes and forgot you're not supposed to dig straight down. So anyways, this is the size of the block we were mining before, but now with the new and improved netherite pickaxe, I feel like it's going to be a lot bigger, provided we use the right one. And the game actually liked this. That's a huge spot. Look how big that is. And this one even mines all the ore with it. So it mines all the way to the ceiling and everything falls down. So even the diamonds come down with it, so we can collect up all the good stuff without having to individually mine it. So in theory, we could find like 20 diamonds per mining swing. And there's even some on the ground. I forgot these guys even exist. I have a netherite sword though, so I don't think they're going to be a problem. So it looks like as long as I'm mining 4, maybe 5 blocks up, I'll actually mine just about level with the floor that I'm sitting on. Maybe a little bit more, but that means we can hollow out a giant area really, really quick. Look at all the diamonds. There's some here, there's some fell there, there's some there, there were some other ones right over here. I mined out this entire thing in like 20 seconds, and I could have done it faster, but I was busy picking up diamonds I don't need. Anyways, we could probably get onto our next pickaxe now, which is actually a quartz pickaxe. Quartz is a lot easier to find than netherite, but we won't ask any questions. We'll just go ahead and swap out our pickaxes and see what this one can do. This one actually converts lava and water into obsidian and ice. So that would definitely make the nether a little better, but let's see how this one works. We're going to mine that spot. That's a big area. That's an even bigger area. Oh, it doesn't mine the ore so we can see it all. Look at all the diamonds. Diamonds there, 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 there. One over here, one over here. It's very interesting to see them laid out this way. Probably should have installed some kind of mod to make everything bright, but you know what? I tend to get things wrong many times before I get them right. I'm just really impressed with how big this mines. And I think it actually clears out the debris, doesn't it? Because nothing falls down. It just like evaporates the useless blocks and leaves all the good ones there. I'm trying to make a video. Get out of here. But we've definitely got to try this pickaxe out in the nether to see if it actually does do that to the lava. No, I don't want to destroy my portals, so I'm going to go ahead and just take a bite out of here. And in theory, I should be safe because any lava that would be there would be turned into obsidian. Except for stuff that's just outside. But even now, I'm pretty sure if I go like that, yep, it absolutely turns that into obsidian. Lava definitely still flows in from up top, but I'm pretty sure if I'm quick, I can actually take care of that and solidify it all. So these pickaxes went from making the nether wildly dangerous to actually pretty safe. As long as I don't drop myself and take fall damage, I'm free to just run around mining whatever I want. The big lava fields are definitely going to be something of a barrier because they're just going to turn into obsidian. Oh, maybe just the surface will. You know what? As long as I'm mining, there we go. There's an ancient debris. There's actually 3 of them. And there's another one hiding in the lava there, but we're about to turn it around a bunch of obsidian. I've also confirmed this pickaxe will not go through bedrock. There's another cluster there, and another one way up there. Plus this one here, so just pretend I did this all in reverse order and found these earlier, and that's how I got all the netherite. But this pickaxe is probably actually the safest of the mega pickaxes so far. Because fall damage aside, it will stop water and lava from being a problem. And we could definitely turn all of the water in existence into ice, and the game does not like that. It turned the sound off. But we mine such a big area. This is also really dangerous to do because if there's a cavern below me, I will once again fall to my death. But look how big this thing mines. We still got a few more to go. Speaking of which, the next one's made out of blaze rods, which we definitely legitimately got when we were down there in the nether. This is going to give us the Mystic Fire pickaxe. Oh, this one automatically smelts ore drops, so that would make it a lot quicker at this point. And it seems to mine a pretty large area. That's fun, it smelts it all right into the bars. But so far I haven't found the height limit to how far this one can go, and we're still going deeper and deeper a little bit at a time. So I'm just going to kind of, I guess, like strip mine with this thing. Because that's the safest way to do it, and we'll get some, you know, a big strip through the earth. Hey, there we go, that's the maximum height it can do. So it obviously mines a whole lot at a time, and it's very handy that it does it this way. It's actually kind of crazy to think about how much we're mining and how long this would take to do legitimately, and I just did it in like 60 seconds. Basically, as fast as I can run, we can mine, and we can mine this much. And another cool thing about the pickaxe like this is you can actually mine underground now fairly safely, because... oh, well, it doesn't do anything with lava, but it does smelt all the bars. Lava wouldn't really be that much of a concern anyway, but smelting all the bars and destroying all the useless blocks is really nice, and that makes her super efficient mining. And every time we swing this pickaxe, we get like 100 diamonds at this point. Okay, the next pickaxe is something we definitely already have, obsidian. Just gotta add a little bit of our magic amethyst. Mystic obsidian pickaxe converts ores to blocks. Does it convert chickens to blocks? I'm a little unsure what it means. It mines a colossal area. We'll work our way into the earth a little bit. Oh wait, I don't know what these are. Converts ores into blocks. Is that a coal block? Is that a thing? Block of coal. So in theory then, it's multiplying the ore and smelting them all at once, because I'm pretty sure a block of coal takes more than just a singular coal to make. This feels strange. I'm turning everything into blocks of itself. And I think I found the depth of how far down it goes, which is a long, long ways. So we'll take a bite out of there. Yep, there's officially a roof up there. And we have a whole bunch of copper and coal. So one bite with his pickaxe can mine all of that space. So we've taken his pickaxe down to the bottom of the world, where now we can really get a better idea what's up there. Look at all the colors and look at all the diamond blocks we have. I swing this pickaxe once and we have like 20, 30 blocks of diamonds. I don't know how many individual diamonds that is, but it's a lot. This one is definitely my favorite so far, just because of what the visual it gives. It just freezes everything up there into blocks. That's so fun. Plus the game doesn't struggle incredibly hard, so it's not that long to do this thing. Doesn't seem to mine that stuff very efficiently, but that's okay, we don't like that stuff anyways. Well, I suppose we better move on to bigger, better pickaxes at this point, but that's just a really fun visual. Next on our list of ever-increasing pickaxes is an Ender Pearl pickaxe. Mystic Ender Pickaxe kills all mobs. I have a feeling I'm gonna like this one. Since we have a bit of a mountain in front of us, let's take a little bite and see how big of a thing it takes. Definitely getting bigger. Before, I might have bought like from me to the wall away. I thought that was huge. They're just getting ridiculous at this point. Why, there's a mob over there. Let's go ahead and open that up a little bit so he can die. Hopefully we don't fall to our death. Yep, that works great. Any mobs in the vicinity die. We could definitely have some fun with that. Look how quickly it does that too. The game hardly even struggles with that, despite the fact that it's a colossal area. Probably because it destroys the blocks so they don't fall. What happens if it pointed straight down? Oh, not that much. It's less exciting than I thought. But we did find the height of how much it mines, so it mines this whole thing in one swing, and that's not even the best pickaxe. But would you look at that, a peaceful village full of living idiots. Be a shame if someone eliminated you all. Well, we killed them, still leaves the houses. But once we get underneath them all, it's really gonna undercut things from under them. Well, that was probably record time for eliminating a village. Using this pickaxe, we can mine out like an entire mountain in like 30 seconds. I'm pretty sure we just did most of it already. I keep forgetting that when I mine, it mines like all the way around me, so the walls disappear everywhere and it gets very disorienting. Well, in about 60 seconds flat, I managed to do this to a mountain. Basically made it entirely gone, except for a bit of ore and stuff on the inside of it. But now it's time for the biggest, baddest pickaxe of them all. And in order to make that, we actually have to combine all 9 pickaxes that we have so far. Here's what's called the World Eater, if I'm seeing that correctly. It looks dangerous. And you know what? It feels a little bit dangerous. I don't even know where to start swinging this thing. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do it right here. That way if we go down, we're going down together. You ready? Let's do it. One little tap and nothing. Wait. The game's thinking about something. I don't know what's happening yet. Oh, the debris is going. Oh, there's meteors falling from the sky. Okay, I don't know. There it goes. Just as planned. We're on fire and so is the rest of the world. This one I like a lot. It really seems to do some chaos. So it launches a bunch of meteors and also mines a really big area. So let's point that straight down and try it again. The game does not love this one little bit. Let's mine a few spots just because we can. Alright, I hear the audio cue of a large explosion. That means something happened and we're closer down to bedrock than we were a minute ago. I would like to point out that I swung this pickaxe technically twice, and this is the kind of area it's mined out. So it's definitely the strongest pickaxe in the universe at this point. That's really, really impressive how big that is. So we better try one down at bedrock. Well, we're not currently on bedrock, but we're pretty close. We'll just take a bite out here to see what happens. I hear the blocks folding in on themselves now. It's slowly working its way through what's about to happen. Because there's going to be a lot of blocks and probably a lot of meteors up on the surface. I'm not really sure what happens with those. The game definitely hard froze for a second and now it's catching back up with itself. Like very, very slowly. But it is doing it. We got water coming in, we got lava coming down. The meteors clearly hit somewhere. You just know it's a good pickaxe when you swing it once and it does this to the world. It turns it into absolute chaos. This, I think, actually mined all the way to the surface. Like it left the ores behind, but yeah, it actually mined all the way to the surface. That's why it had to work so hard to get here. And the surface is also on fire because of that. So this pickaxe really is a little terror. It doesn't do a lot of good things for the world. Well, now I'm kind of excited to see what kind of other stupid stuff we can do with this. Let's find out what's on the other side of the universe. We need to keep upgrading our rocket until we get there. We're gonna have to sacrifice a few astronauts along the way. The further I go, the more money I get for more upgrades, and we find these treasures along the way that we upgrade into better parts. We use better parts to go even further into the sky, steering our ship into the floating treasure. The higher we go, the longer the astronauts get to live for. And in that treasure box, we got a fuel tank, so we can go ahead and slap that on. Now we have extra fuel to go further. We can also just buy more random assorted parts. We got 2 nose cones there, so we have a level 2 nose cone we can slap up top. That's presumably going to help us go a little bit further for even more money, for even more upgrades, and you get the idea. We're going to find new planets. Oh, we're only 200 meters away from something new. Okay, we hit that. We've already made it to the moon. And on the way, we picked up another treasure crate, so that gave us more nose cones, so we can combine into a level 2 nose cone, therefore into a level 3 nose cone. This one's got extra stripes on it, so you know it's good. Modules are more expensive though, but our next rocket's only $6,400, so we're going to keep saving for that while trying to reach the meatball in the sky. That time it went a lot higher though. We've gotten $1,200 in that single run, and we hit new heights. And out of that, we got an extra fuel tank and an extra thruster, none of which I think we can utilize yet. So let's find out why there's treasure to either side. It doesn't seem like a good idea to steer rockets sideways, but you never know what we're going to find out here. And we all know astronauts are completely disposable anyway. There's a level 2 fuel tank that we can combine with our existing level 2 fuel tank for level 3. So we're going to the moon. We're going from the moon to the next planet. I assume that's a long ways away. We're coming up on our high score already, and I think we went past it. $1,500 for a single run. We got some new thruster pieces, so that's my favorite part. We have a level 3 thruster. So let's point this one straight up into the air and see what we find. The next part is another 200 meters away. Wow, we're really going high. High fuel consumption. Yeah, no kidding. There's one over there that we just cruised past. How heartbreaking. $1,900 though, 1,669 meters. Look, we have exactly enough money we need for the next rocket. Perfect. Okay, looks like this one has 2 thrusters available, so we can put one there. Now we have double thrusters. I just realized I'm actually supposed to control like the temperature, so I can actually use this as boost, and if it gets too hot I need to let off a little bit. I think that's probably the most efficient way of doing it, though I'm not entirely sure yet. Our high score has been broken. We found a new planet. Uneven thrusters and all. Okay, I don't know what planet we're on. The next one is Venus. Oh, we can actually see them. We started on Earth, we hit the moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars. We're kind of going in a strange order, but we're not going to ask any questions. We're headed for planets that don't exist. And we can spend stars to unlock a facility. I'm not really sure what that does, so we'll go ahead and take one. It produces us diamonds. Oh, I can afford a bunch more modules though, so we'll combine a bunch of new stuff together. Ooh, that's gonna be good. Because my 2 level 3s can combine into a level 4 nose cone. Ooh, there's something, a star to the right. What do you think that is? Can we hit it? Oh, I forgot about the heat thing already. Okay, stars collected. Oh, it's stars. I don't want stars, I want rocket parts. Then again, I can use my diamonds to increase things like my income, so I'm all for that. Well, let's give it another launch. I want to head for the VIP ticket though, because that sounds like it's probably important. Gonna stop overheating my rocket now. I'm not sure where we're driving anymore, so we're just going straight up. 2,000 meters. Okay, the VIP is something I can... oh, I get to pick what I get. Okay, I want 54 gems. Because then I can make my booster apparently a lot stronger. We're just going to fill that out, and we get 1.25% boost. Okay, we'll do the same for the fuel tank. I'm sure that will make some kind of difference, which just means more money with more rocket power back into the sky. I'm mostly just going to head for whatever's straight above me, trying not to overheat this thing too much. I don't know if it's efficient to collect parts or money. Either way, we're going to go through a lot of astronauts today. 2,000 meters, we got to beat that. And the parts there, we got a better thruster on the left side, so we have more thrust. We'll buy some more modules right now just to see what we can turn that into. That's definitely going to be an improvement on a few different things. Because we can turn a level 3 fuel tank into a level 4. That's a big purple thing. We're going to have a level 3 thruster here, which can go on either side. So we have a level 4 thruster at level 3. That should do some wonders for us. We can use our boost. Ooh, it's a yellow and purple flame. This should definitely take us to new heights pretty easily. Yeah, we're already at almost 3,000 meters, so we're 50% further already. Yep, we're just going to keep going. We're going to crash right through the next planet. We doubled our height, 4,200 meters. I bet you didn't know the planets are only 4 kilometers apart. I noticed the level 2 rocket has 2 thrusters though, so I wonder if we keep upgrading if we get more thrusters. Oh, I should probably go for the VIP ticket on this one, because then I get to pick my part, and maybe it's a better part. Level 1 parts are fine and all, but I maybe want some better stuff. So we'll steer ourselves over to this one. We're starting to stay in the air for a long time, and that's getting very time consuming. But the VIP package gave me everything you see here. Let's take some gems. So we can increase income for only 320, or our modules base level up by 1. We would like that. So we're going to use some of these stars to invest probably on all of our planets if we can. Okay, we're not allowed to, so I'm just going to put all of these into this thing for now. We'll find more later. So we're mining 0.12 per second. That'll be fine because we just have to blast off into space again and again to make money. It's really that easy. This one might be a record, or we might have landed on the next planet again. Didn't realize I swapped back to the previous planet, so we're just going to do that again on the right planet. I see now on the right side there's a fuel burn thing. Using boost adds like 10-20% extra fuel, but it makes us go a lot faster. We probably don't really have to use that, but then what am I going to do while we wait? And I think we hit a new planet already. We might have just seen the new planet actually. We need to go 5,600 meters to get there, so we were close. Okay, well, we can combine these together into a level 3 thruster, which we can find there. Now we have 2 level 4s. Straight to the moon we go. We're going to be going so much quicker now. We're up to 76 meters per second. There's a treasure box 600 meters above me. Did we make it? Oh, we made it to the next planet officially. Luckily we have those reusable rockets. New merge level achieved, auto merging 4 to 5. Great. Okay, Mars is the next planet. It's 11,400 up there, but we have enough for the next rocket. And this one's purple. And we have a level 5 thruster, just a single one for some reason. So we need to buy a few modules to hopefully get at least one other thruster to balance it out. And then we're going straight for the VIP ticket if the rocket would ever turn. Okay, it's not a great handler. Wait, I think we got it. I don't know why those grab my attention so much, but I do like the VIP. These rewards are so uneven, like that's not a lot of money, that's a very basic item, 178 gems is easy. Now I can increase my income by quite a bit. It would be nice to save up for the base modules, but we'll get there. Okay, we're gonna go straight up on this one. I think the rocket handles poorly because my thrusters are really uneven, so it tends to knock me one way or the other. Or I might just be really bad at driving rockets. The mysteries are endless. We're gonna try and save up a few dollars before buying more boxes. Well, $72,000 should buy us a few new things. I thought there was an auto merge feature. Why are things not auto merging on my behalf? I guess I probably could have also put a new one in here a while ago, so we'll take the level 2 off and put the level 3 on.
Only the finest attention to detail on this channel, that's for sure.
There are only 8 spaces though, so it might actually only be able to give you certain parts at some point, otherwise you would get stuck. We can try and exploit that later. For now, we're using our extra power to go into the sky. Nah, we definitely got a gift box there, and we're going ever higher. We're at 6,500 meters. A few astronaut sacrifices later and I get a rocket for 108,000. This one's got 3 engines on it. And I'm really liking this trend. The higher level the rocket, the more engines it gets. With our leftover money, which isn't going to go very far, we'll buy a few more parts to hopefully get us closer to a new something. Well, there's nothing we can strap onto the rocket yet, but we do now have a giant rocket with 3 pieces on it, so it's going to go further faster. We're actually up to 112 meters per second. We're actually almost like twice as fast as we just were, so we're going to go way higher. We made it as high as a gift box, we're not quite at the next planet. And after that launch, I think I've got enough for a new fuel thing, and that's going to make a big difference. Level 5 fuel canister. We obviously burned a lot of fuel on the way to the next planet, and this one might take us all the way there. We are burning 0.25 liters per second, which is also a new record for us, but with the speed we're going, it's worth it. I think we're into uncharted territories, we're that much closer to the next planet. Then we're going to swap out my level 1 for a level 2 thruster that I forgot about, and oh, it shows your initial trajectory. That's what that line was showing me at the beginning. I thought it was leading me to treasure, but it was just saying where my lopsided rocket's going to go if I leave it to its own devices. That time we did get 8,500 meters. We have quickly saved up $215,000, so I think we're overdue to buy some modules so we can start putting stuff together. Already we can make a level 3 engine, and we've still got some money to spend. We just got a bunch more engines, so 2 level 3s can turn into another level 4. The nose cones are gonna have to wait. Not for very long though, because there's a level 4 nose cone which can combine with our existing level 5 nose cone. That did cost basically all of our money, but now we have a much better rocket. We're going 120 meters per second and we're only burning 0.21 liters per second. So we're going faster, even more efficiently. So that means we might actually make it. We're 1,400 meters away from the next planet. So it's hopefully just a few $100,000 more to be able to reach the next planet. But we're making well over $20,000 per flight, so it's not that bad. Plus I forgot about my jumps which have been adding up, so let's get extra booster power. Then I have over 1,000 stars, which I didn't realize, so we're going to invest on this planet, and that's going to put our earnings way up. We're at half a crystal per second. I did just get a VIP package with 1,300 crystals though. Then it's back to the grind, straight into space. I thought our boosters would have more speed after what we just picked up, but apparently not. We're still going 120 meters a second. Still good enough for 26,000 per run. Do we think $250,000 is enough to buy the upgrades we need? It's giving us a lot of thrusters. Well, that can already make a level 4, which could be combined there, so we have 2 level 5 thrusters, and I'm pretty sure those are insane by themselves. Now we got 2 orange and 1 purple, and we're gonna go way higher. I realize in hindsight I probably should have combined my 2 best thrusters into an even better one, but we'll figure it out on the next run. We did get a new high score, and we did make it to the next planet. Oh, it auto-merged into a level 6 at this point anyway, so I guess it puts the parts on the rocket together that it can put together. Well, we'll slap a level 3 rocket on there just to supplement our thing. Now we got more power than ever before. There is a VIP to the right, but I want to see how high we can go. Plus, I'm pretty sure I can get multiple treasure boxes up this way anyways, so we're all the better for it. We're already over 10,000 meters, and we hardly even tried. 10,300, we're 30,000. And you know what? We already have enough for a new rocket, 240,000. It has the same amount of slots as our last one, but it has way better stats overall. Everything is much better again. So let's launch this into the sky, but I want the VIP on this one. I want some more gems. Pretty sure even with going this side, we're still going to break a new record. Not sure if we did, but we're collecting a lot of parts. Yeah, it was actually really close considering we went sideways. The VIP gave me another 1,800 gems. I see another VIP ticket, so that's going to be more gems. Another 1,800. This will help out a lot. Now our base modules are level 2. So now it's much more worth the investment because that's going to rule out a lot of combining. And already with that, we have a level 4 booster on this side now. That's already so much better, it's almost a joke. We also just spent like hundreds of thousands of dollars on upgrades. I've also just acquired another level 3 fuel tank, which turns into level 4, which turns into a level 5, which combines with our existing to a level 6 fuel tank. Now we're going to go even further. We're going 140 meters per second now, and we're only burning 0.21 liters per second to do it. So we're already into new record territory. We're going to miss that thing because I just don't care. I want to go higher. 14,000 meters. Worth $38,000. A few runs later, $380,000. I'm going to sell my level 1 parts because I realized we're never going to have any more level 1 parts. It's a level 2 or higher, so those got to go. We already have a level 4 nose cone again, which is a big one. There's a level 4 thruster, which we can't even, we can use at this point. Now we have a level 5, level 6, level 4. We'll make it the next planet. It's only 17,000 meters up there. You just gotta try and keep this thing moving mostly straight. Picking up the modules can help along the way, but the straighter it goes, the more efficient we're going upwards. 4,500 meters to go. We broke a new record thanks to the extra thruster, 3,300 meters further. We did go 15,000, which is still pretty good. Here's another level 4. It's going to go to a level 5 thruster, so we got 2 5s and 1 6. We should actually combine these so we have 2 6s. Now we just gotta hope for a new thruster, so we'll settle for a level 2 on one side. Then it tries to make us go sideways very quickly because we're way overpowered to one side. Not sure if that matters. I could balance that out, but I don't care. I'm going upwards. So at 142 meters per second, and hopefully that's going to be enough to get us there. We're also doing it very efficiently. We're only 3,000 meters away now. There's 2,000 meters, 1,800. We're so close. Okay, we did get another thruster on that, so we'll combine them. We'll buy a few more modules, none of which are thrusters. But we do have a level 5 nose cone, so we get a level 6 nose cone out of that. Also, we'll maybe swap these two around. That way we have even thrust upwards. Oh, there's a VIP ticket, so we're going to grab that real quick too. Okay, we got the VIP box, so we're basically just going to head towards this next one now. I doubt we're going to make it to the next planet, but we're going to get some parts. And let's face it, you're not here for raw efficiency. VIP gave us 3,400 gems. I also forgot to unlock a facility on the last planet we were on. Should have done that a while ago because now we're making 2.5 gems a second. After a few small investments, that's actually going to go up to about 3.75. Probably should have upgraded this stuff a while ago because we just increased our earnings by a large amount, and we can also do our booster, our fuel tank, our heat shield. Everything can get better really cheaply. So we'll maybe do all 3 of these. Booster, fuel tank, and heat shield are all going to be a lot more efficient. So now when we launch our fantastic rocket into space, we're going to make a lot more money and go a little bit further. Well, we're up to about 145 meters per second, and that's actually going to add up because every second we're getting further ahead. We got 1,500 meters to go to get to the next planet. But at our base, we made $96,000. So let's spend $866,000 on new parts, and we're getting a lot of thrusters. This I find completely acceptable because there's another level 5 that we're going to go ahead and put there. Then even more thrusters. The game's trying to tell us something. And then we'll combine those, and then we have 3 level 6 thrusters. Pretty sure this is going to take us to the next planet. We're going 148 meters a second now, and we're doing it at only 0.13 liters per second burn. So we're probably going to run like straight into the planet and go straight through it at this rate because we're burning no fuel to do this. There's a pass, there's already a record, and there's our new planet. That also auto increased our thruster up to level 7 in the middle. And we're definitely putting a facility here because now we're making 15 gems per second. And every time I spend some of my hard-earned stars here, that number goes up. There's 20 gems per second. Once you can get up to 25 per second, then every 4 seconds there's 100 more gems. Plus, we're also going to buy this new rocket that's much bigger than before. I think it's got room for 4 thrusters. 4 slots it is. Look at those stats. So we'll spend our remaining few dollars adding just one little thruster here. And then we're going straight into the sky. We need to get 4 giant thrusters on this thing. VIP box collected, we're going 170 meters per second. Our fuel burn isn't super great right now, but we'll fix that soon. 18,000 meters without even trying. The VIP gave me more gems. I'm going to turn those gems into more earnings, so every run now we're going to get even more money. Last run was 100 grand, this one 135. And that kind of money turns into a lot of very quick upgrades. I think we can already put a level 4 module over there. That should increase our speed a little bit while also knocking down our fuel burn. We got 4 pretty good engines sitting on this thing. We did break a new high score on this one. We're up to 19,455. Parts are getting expensive, but we're also making gems so quickly we can upgrade these things quickly, so now we're going to have even more earnings. And we are really just here to get rich. The richer we are, the more rocket we get. I did forget one of my thrusters is only level 2 though, so we might as well give that some help. We can take it all the way up to level 4, so now we got 4, 4, 6, 7. The extra thrust helped us get to 20,000 meters worth 165 grand. That gave us 7,500 gems, so we're just going to increase our earnings again. And then I guess we can increase our booster, fuel tank, and heat shield a little bit more. And we'll see how far into the sky that takes us. Grand total of 20,300. There's another level 4 thruster. I guess I could have actually put those two together too, but that's too late now. But every thruster upgrade really does help a lot, because now we're going 180 meters per second and only burning 0.25 liters per second. That's with 4 engines. I do like how they're all mismatching too. They even have different colors. That actually made a really big difference. 21,388 meters for 200 grand. And here's a big upgrade. 2 level 6 fuel tanks make a level 7. So I bet that's going to let us go a lot farther. Our burn is still 0.26 liters per second, but we got that much bigger of a fuel tank. It is, however, another 13,000 meters to go to get to that planet. We definitely broke a new record, but we still got another 7,500 to go. I saved up $2.24 million. It's hopefully going to get us a little bit closer to where we need to go, but upgrades are getting stupidly expensive. Though I think I can make a new nose cone now. Those combine to level 6, these two combine into level 7. Now the game's going to give us lots of thrusters, because that's logically the next thing to upgrade. These two 4s make a 5, these two 5s will make a 6. And that nose cone should probably make us go a little bit quicker. We're up to 182 meters a second, only 0.24 liters per second burn. That was a new record. 28,365. Every upgrade makes such a big difference. So our fuel is down to 0.22 liters per second, so that's going to be much more efficient. We're only 6,000 meters away now. We got to about 4,800 more meters to go, so we need to get to 35,000. Okay, level 7, level 7, level 6, level 5. This is gotta do it. We put so many millions of dollars into this. The fuel burn is all the way down to 0.2 liters per second, so that will probably actually do it. We still have 10,000 meters to go though, but I think we're gonna do it. Down to the final 4,000. Oh, we might not make it. 2,800 away. I realize there's a fairly easy solution to solving this little problem, because once we get close, we can get an extra 20% fuel for free. And that was enough to get us there. And that's unlocked us our next rocket for over $1 million. So we'll let this run for a little while and see what we can come up with next time, but look at that red jet. 210 meters per second for eternity. This is what happens when you drop the Titanic from a height of 1 meter. It just gets a little wet, but no harm done. From 5 meters, it's likely to take a little bit more damage, but still survives somewhat intact. It even jumps right out of the water because it's so excited. Once it evens itself out, it'll probably still even drive. I would consider this survival, but we're going to escalate a little bit today. Dropping it from a much greater height means that it actually fully submerges once it hits the ground and splits entirely in half. I suspect this one's not going to keep driving along the top of the water, but we can find out. In fact, the engine doesn't turn on anymore, and it'll just make its way to the bottom. So therein lies the question, how high can we drop it from? Turns out we can put it really high up there. So when it falls from 1,000 meters above the ocean, this is what it does upon impact with the water. It completely disintegrates. Pretty sure that one's not going to go anywhere. Okay, this time we've added a little gravitational assist, and it blew up so hard on the water that the pieces are bouncing off the bottom of the ocean. We've actually turned the Titanic into particles, and it's only taken us a minute to do it. But we're definitely not done with this thing yet. We can even make our own waves. Little waves basically make no difference. Bigger waves are going to make somewhat of a difference. We're getting the bow a little bit wet. We basically just cleaned the Titanic. So let's try a little bit of a bigger, girthier wave and see how the ship likes that. That's getting the bow a lot wetter, and it's giving it a rinse all the way along. But I think ultimately it's actually maybe not going to survive this one as much as I thought. And I'm not really sure what's going on with this wave. It's just kind of hanging out here. The ship is still technically buoyant though. It's not sinking yet. That means we're going to have to do a little bit better with our waves. So we're going to put a big one on this side, and we're going to put a big one on this side, and they'll hopefully hit the middle of the ship at the same time and make a big wave right in the center. While we're waiting, we'll see what either absolutely enormous tidal wave does to either end of the ship. Oh, maybe it's actually going to lift it right up out of the water. That would be fun. It kind of almost did. Okay, the ship didn't like that very much, and it's lifting the front end up. We did it. We cut the boat in half using only water. I doubt there was many survivors on that one. Well, there might have been, but within about 30 seconds there won't be because they're 100 meters underwater. Apparently this didn't get water filled, probably because it turned upside down, so that one's going back to the surface. Well, I've managed to distribute either half of the ship very far from each other. But since this one's not broken enough yet, we can give it a little bit of assist if we want and disintegrate it. It turns out you can turn up the speed of the waves. That's why the ship looks like it's going 1,000 miles an hour. So that means you can put this ship under a great deal of stress. If you make the waves even just a little bit bigger, the ship now looks like it's made out of jello. And to help it along with that, we'll add a few of our own little waves on top of the waves. It's like 3 levels of waves and it's breaking in half. I was hoping it would put up with a little bit more abuse than that, but it's a pretty old ship. It's interesting how it is breaking apart from the rear though. I'm not sure why there was so much stress, but I'm not going to ask questions. I think we've determined that the front half of the ship is a lot bigger than the last. I also didn't know you could make inverted waves, so that's gonna get fun. That thing's gonna submarine right under there and it's gonna be sunk forever. With everybody on board, we're also now doing a wheelie, so we never knew that Titanic could do tricks. Okay, I've gone ahead and spawned in a fresh ship that wasn't quite so broken. Now we can make some inverted waves. I don't know how big it's gonna let me make these, but presumably pretty big, so you can actually like do a huge gap in the water where the ship's gonna go flying right off. It still makes a wave in the center, but it's going to kind of plow through that, I think. I don't really know how hydrodynamics work, but it's enough to break this ship in half really, really hard. I really hope they build these a lot tougher these days, because this ship cannot put up with anything. But I've also just realized I can kind of use this to make an even bigger wave, because I can go all the way down like that, and once there's a bit of clearance in the way, we can go all the way up, and there's an enormous size tsunami. So this is already twice as big as what I thought the biggest was. The ship's just hanging out, there's no propulsion going on it right now, and oh, we might even get to hit a fish on this one. Okay, the ship's already breaking and hasn't even gotten to the wave yet. We're gonna have to rethink how we do this, but I've got an idea how to make that work. Even a fish are falling through the water. Ooh, I made it do a backflip though, so that's a first. Okay, here's how we do this. We do a big gap in the water somewhere way over here till it gets something like, I don't know, that far, and then we put the wave in, and then we just sort of place the ship, I think right here, somewhere in the water, hopefully. And then it's gonna get the full brunt of that wave while it's still floating and it didn't break before getting to it. We might want to turn the engines on. So we're turning into a submarine. We might make it up to the surface though. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna survive this. We tried our best, but that's what happens when the Titanic hits an enormous wave. This little guy is called an impact bomb. When you hit it with a hammer, it explodes. When you hit the regular ship with the hammer, it doesn't explode. So let's create what I like to call a chain reaction. I guess we're going to start with this hamburger style and see how this goes. I'm also going to do this while drinking a lot of coffee, so it's maybe not the straightest line in the world. But you know what? If you want straight lines, you've come to the wrong place. Basically, we've made a floating bomb. Now we just delicately need to tap one end, and off it goes. Why did it blow up from the middle? The front ones didn't even go off properly. I like the result, I'm just confused as to how we got there, but that's a pretty comprehensive destruction. But we're not done yet. I don't know why these didn't blow up properly. We're gonna try that again, but I've turned the bombs up to level 1000. I know what you're thinking.
You're exaggerating. You didn't turn them up to level 1000.
Well, I guess there's only one way to find out for sure. We'll go ahead and hit the bomb, and the entire ship is gone except for the smokestacks. That actually sent the debris so far, like it's bouncing off the bottom of the ocean 40 miles away. So what about this one of those bombs turned up to 1000? Yeah, that absolutely destroys the entire center of the ship. There is also this handy slice tool where we can just kind of cut the ship apart a little bit. So I bet we can go like that and the ship will still run. It'll still move, it just maybe won't love it. Ooh, you know, we can actually start whittling it away to see how much of the ship we can remove and have it still run. This way it'll be more aerodynamic anyway. I've seen modern ships, they don't look anything like this. I feel like it's already moving a lot faster. You know, all this stuff up here, you don't even need any of that. That doesn't need to be on a boat. Okay, let's try and, we're gonna do this while the ship is moving, so it's kind of subject to the whims of the ocean, but if I go like that, is that okay? Yeah, that's okay-ish so far. I didn't quite cut through it properly because my sword isn't that good. That's probably a little bit user error, to be fair. Might have taken a little bit more off the front than I had to. Well, we're starting to take on some water there, but I think I proved you can actually remove 90% of the Titanic and have it still work as the Titanic. Even the rear half tends to work by itself. That kind of makes me wonder something. Like, it's still going by itself. I've removed like 95% of the Titanic and it still works. Maybe if we cut it sort of like that, that shape will keep it above water even better. as soon as we get rid of this little piece. Apparently that's where like the actual engine was housed because it finally died. So let's sort of try that again, but let's cut it maybe here. And then maybe that'll hold itself above water. Nope, you gotta remove the top half before you do that, otherwise it just turns into a submarine. That also somehow killed the engine, so I'm not really sure what happened there. We'll go ahead and call this a victory by cutting the whole thing into a bunch of pieces. I also have something called the swirl tool. So I think that means I can actually just sort of swirl the ship and maybe even leave it going straight up and down. Just a little more, we're almost there. Okay, it does not like that stress one little bit. I guess it is a rather long object. But that's also this tool at like basic power. I mean, it's pretty strong, I guess, to send a billion-ton ship swirling through the ocean. But I don't know, we could probably turn this tool up to 1000%. There's a lot of different tools that are very complicated, so I just turned a bunch of them up to level 1000, and apparently this still wasn't one of them. I mean, even as it is though, it's still pretty good. This might have actually been turned up. It is moving a lot quicker than it was before, and the ship didn't break apart yet, which is kind of interesting. It's just kind of an interesting game to mess around with. I've turned the simulation quality up by several times to make it a little more realistic, and then I accidentally placed a mountain in the way. But that's also good news, because who knew we could actually place a mountain in here? We can probably also try something fun here. I want to see if we can sort of make like a slope for the Titanic, so we can like slide it down the mountain and into the water to give it a proper launch. Don't worry, this is a well thought out idea. Probably gonna need to try and rotate it a little bit before it hits the ground. Or maybe we could just gently set it down and then it won't break. We'll help it along just a little bit. It'll be fine. No wonder it wasn't moving properly. The engine wasn't on. This kind of tells me we're going to need a steeper slope. But I bet you've never seen the Titanic thrown down a 10,000 foot tall mountain before. Yeah, it's got a little ways to go, but it'll be fine by the time it gets there. Now it's picking up speed and absolutely disintegrating while it's at it. To be fair, it wasn't the straightest of mountains, so you might have been at a slight disadvantage. And there we go, the boat finally made it to the water, at which point it promptly sank, but it's still making its way down the mountain. That's so much fun. Okay, clearly the problem was the mountain wasn't steep enough, so we're gonna make it extra steep. So we have a much bigger, steeper mountain to work with now. But one of the other problems is that there's no water on the mountains. So we're gently gonna set that down there where it's not going to break too much. Okay, we have a repair tool so we can sort of put it back together a little bit. I just figured we could put the water inside the ship. Then we don't have to worry about it being in the ocean at all. It's got the water on board with it. At least in the front to make it a little front heavy to let it start going. I've got to repair it as we're going. Okay, this time I've got it under control. I've got the ship pre-rotated. That way you shouldn't have so much stress and we can put it directly on the slope. So if we put it maybe there, it's going to break in half immediately, but that's okay. We'll help its tail end down a little bit too. There we go. Now it'll make its way back to the water in a proper launch. Definitely would have been fun if we could put some water up here to let it go down. Because without the water, it doesn't really function as a ship anymore. It just kind of shreds itself into particles. At least so far. Maybe it'll pick up some proper smooth momentum by the bottom, but it's got a little ways to go. Really helps to put it into perspective that this is as big of a tsunami as I can make. It's absolutely like world destroying, and the mountain is that big. And then our ship is still making its way down to the bottom, but it's still going to be a minute. I tried something called the Thanos snap as the ship was getting close to the bottom, and it turned everything into dust again. So that's an easy way to destroy the ship. Not as exciting as some of the other methods. What happens if we drop the ship on top of the spike? Is it going to split it in half? Is it going to impale it? Is anything at all going to happen? It cuts rather cleanly through it. And then it's a race for both sides to hit the ocean. I think the left one's going to win on this one. And probably no survivors there either. So let's try that again, but let's add a little bit of downforce to it. That way it really splits in half and disintegrates and blew up into nothing when it hit the water. See, that's as destructive as a Thanos snap, but it's a lot more fun. Actually, I bet we could throw it side to side too. Go into the wall. There it goes. And from the other side with a little bit less force. This is still obviously going to be fairly damaging to the poor ship. But some of the parts survived. Can't say the same about the people on board though. They're probably out of luck. Did you know there's an antimatter bomb in the game? Because neither did I. I don't really know how to detonate that. I assume I have to maybe hit it with a hammer? I don't know what happened. Even the camera went crazy there. Wait, where's it going? Does it have to impact something to blow up? Oh, it's creating a black hole. It's pulling the ship down with it. Oh, that's going to be a lot of fun. Where are we going now? So you can only put the antimatter bomb on the ship itself. I'm not allowed to put it on fish or ground, but it will sit on top of the rocks once it gets going. So what if we just take a little slice of that And then if we're able to grab it before it gets too far away, put it somewhere ridiculous, like way up there. Slap the bomb to it up here, which actually works. And then give it a little smash. How far does that black hole go? It's affecting the ship already, and it's way down there. We're making it fly backwards. Oh, that thing even flies by itself. Wow, that's got a strong radius on it. Wow, okay. Then it disintegrates itself. That's also a super fun way of destroying the ship. Okay, this time I think I want a slightly bigger slice. And then we're going to keep flicking this thing up to the top of Mount Olympus. And we can put the bomb away up here. And that's going to be a bit experimental because that's a long ways from our boat. I don't know if it's got that kind of reach on it. We can't even see the bomb anymore. It's actually affecting the ship. Not very strongly, but it is actually pulling it in from way up there. Oh, it's going to crunch the ship. Okay, it still did the ship in pretty bad. Why are the sharks not affected by anti-gravity bombs? You can also do multiples of these. I don't think that's going to do very good things for the ship, but that does give me another fun idea. For now, we'll just let all these go and kind of create their own little black holes at their own vortexes. Okay, great. We made our own black hole. Okay, so if we make one of these here, and then we go, yeah, like that, and then make another wall on that side. We got to make strong walls on either side of this. And then roughly an equal distance away, we're going to do sort of the same thing, except not screw it up. Then we just need a few itty bitty pieces of this ship. And then we got to place them up there very carefully. And then we have 2 antimatter bombs on either side of the ship, if we see where this is going. We're going to have a little tug of war using a Titanic. So activate 1, activate 2. They'll start pulling the Titanic either direction pretty shortly, and we'll see which one's stronger. If either of them. Oh, the right one's winning slightly, but it was activated first. Are they going to fight each other? Oh, that one's getting stuck towards the left one. I think we have a pretty clear winner here. It was the one on the right. So say we do that same thing, but on land. This time I'm going to activate the left one first because it's a little farther away, and I'm going to do them fairly together. The ship did have some cracks already in it, so maybe this won't actually affect it as much if it's on land. Nope, there it goes. Oh, they're fighting properly over it now. And the left one I think is probably going to win. It sure did. And we're going back to the right now. Next, I want to see what happens if we turn the waves naturally up to their maximum setting. So they have really big ups and downs. They're not moving any faster, but they do have big swells up and down. So let's see how a regular Titanic holds up against an enormously changing sea. Well, it's underwater. Now it's halfway out of the water. Now it's flying. Now it's halfway into the water. Now it's really flying. Oh, that's not going to be good for it at all. It's going to hit the ground. That's kind of cinematic, though. And it's back out of the water again. Alright, well, it very clearly can't handle maximum waves. But we can still turn the speed up a lot for how quick those waves go. Alright, so let's put in a fresh ship, and it's going to deal with the dancing waves that are probably just going to beat it up right where it sits. That's kind of neat. Yeah, that pretty much disintegrated the thing in an instant anyways. Actually, what about if we just have the Titanic moving along under its own force and we ram it straight into a wall? Pretty sure it's already going max speed, at least as max as we can go under normal circumstances. And it's kind of like an iceberg, but more solid because this one's attached to the ground and made of rock. And yep, that actually folded it pretty good. And now the rear end, also giving a good smash. Perfect. I found a setting for something called ultraviolet mode. I'm not entirely sure what that does, but we can find out if it makes a difference when this thing runs headfirst into a mountain at full speed. Is this going to be ultraviolet or regular violent? So far that was mostly just regular violent. Still pretty fun, but we can do better. Okay, a few more changes. We made the fish a little bigger. That one can even fly. But I turned the power of the ship up by quite a lot. So that thing's really going to get moving now, and we're probably going to see the difference once it's done flooding itself. Oh, it actually killed its own engine because it flooded itself so quickly. But it still hit the wall with a very violent reaction. Okay, so a few adjustments, but I think we're onto a good thing here. Okay, I've left the ship at full speed, but I also turned the toughness of the ship up. At least I think I did, so we'll see what happens here. Oh, interesting. It bends like a banana now. I don't know what I just did, but I'm going to enjoy this a lot. It just stuck to the wall. Like, I'm not actually doing anything to it. It did this to itself. I was going to adjust the terrain and go like that, but it's... we made it fly. It's just flying now for some reason. I just made it really quick and really tough, and now it's flying. Now it's going upward. Sure, we'll just let it go on this little journey and see where it winds up. It's... okay, I don't know what's happening. Oh, it's coming back down now. It just had some like residual force that sent it upwards. Oh, never mind. It's going back into the sky. I don't know what it's doing anymore. Wait, it's coming down. And that might waterlog it in. There goes its flying adventure. All right, well, down to the bottom it goes, where it will remain forever the mystery ship. I just kind of want to try this again at full speed with its super rigidity, because once it gets going actually full speed, I then want to smack it into a wall. It's so quick, it actually does. It's like planing just above the water like a hydrofoil. So we'll put something in its way to stop it a little bit, and that killed the ship. Well, actually, the engine's still running. It didn't entirely kill it. Everyone on board is dead, but the ship itself, still not bad. Okay, I'm going to borrow a few pieces of the ship again, and then we're going to put a few antimatter bombs on and give those a little smash to see if we can turn the ship into spaghetti in a proper way. Given the strength of these things, I am a little bit curious to see what exactly they're going to do. The one on the right obviously triggered first, so it's obviously a little bit stronger, but it's got a metal banana to deal with. It pulled it right through the wall, and now it's crunching it up against the wall, and that's got to be under a lot of force. It phased it through the wall. It was so strong it defied the rules of physics. The ship's a lot more fun when it's tough. So what about a bomb just sort of there? That's hopefully going to turn this jello-y thing into some kind of jello-y spaghettification. It's slowly folding. The ship doesn't know what to do with itself because it's trying to pull itself inwards. And there we go. We've turned the Titanic into some kind of monstrosity that's now flying again. That one works really, really well. All right, well, since the ship is again super tough, let's take it to the top of the mountain and try it again. And this is a really big mountain that puts the other mountains to shame. If you don't believe me, we can try and zoom out, but like it's actually hard to zoom out enough to properly see this. Wait, there we go. We're allowed to a little bit here, but now the ship's over there. Well, there we go. You'll get the idea. What happened to the ship? Where'd the back end of it go? Oh, maybe I put it off the edge of the map. That might actually eat it. Anyway, we don't need a rear end of a ship where we're going. We need to get this jello thing down the mountain, and hopefully by the time it's near the bottom, it's going light speed. We can give it a little bit of a push forward. The mountain will get steeper. Maybe we should have turned friction down a little bit. Okay, now we're starting to get somewhere a little bit. We're going to start working our way down the mountain. It does get stuck on these jaggedy edges, so we'll give it a little bit of a push again to get it going. I'm not the smoothest mountain drawer, so we're going to run into these hiccups here and there. Like, I don't think it's going to love this particular little spike, and it's headed right for it nose heavy. Alright, well, let's give it a little more push, and then it's going to head downhill in a hurry. It started its wiggle, so that's a good sign. Okay, get going. Faster. There we go. That's more... Oh, we're going to hit a spike again. And we still got a long ways down to go. But it will make it to the water one piece, even with us helping it along gingerly in some points. And there we go. That'll still float. It's just ergonomic. And perhaps made for, going under the water rather than across it. Does the engine still work? Yeah, the engine still works perfectly fine. The ship itself doesn't, though. It's now going to spin in circles because gravity doesn't exist anymore. Sure. Okay, I've made the ship so powerful at this point it actually flies through the air. I turned friction down, I turned engines up. I was trying to take it to the top of the mountain under control of its engines, but it won't go down the mountain anymore because it just flies away instead. So I think I pretty thoroughly ruined the world. Okay, well, what happens when the tough ship hits the water at those speeds? It still disintegrates and bounces back into the moon. Alright, well, we've got some fun ideas to accomplish with this one still, but there's a lot of potential here. Today we're going to make a mountain of gems bigger than the Earth, but first we need to mine right into the planet's core. Luckily, these enormous sapphires are worth an absolute fortune, so when we're done mining we switch over to the vacuum and suck them all up. From there we take them 10 at a time to our processor. Once those are done, we stack them up and put them on the truck for sale. Becoming a billionaire is just that easy. It just takes 100,000 years to do it. And you don't want to forget the part where you collect your mountain of money. Also, this is Mark. We've hired Mark to do all the work for us. Like any successful business, we're going to have somebody else do all the work. That means I can spend more of my time chewing through enormous sapphires. But this still feels a little bit slow. We need a little bit more power out of our drill. I don't want to think about how big our jackhammer is going to be. And I know the next stuff's going to be red because I'm starting to see just a little. So let's help our little friend here move some of these along, because the more we sell, the bigger the truckloads get. Then we ship a few of those off and we've made ourselves another $1 million. And that's perfect because not only can we upgrade our processing machine several times, but also our excavator power a whole bunch of times. And every once in a while, we're going to go back to previous areas to collect a little easy profit. Turns out gold and rubies and emeralds are also worth a lot. The first area has a skyscraper of money. We're going to go ahead and take all of that with us. None for the workers. If they're lucky, they'll be able to see their family this year. And even just while I was doing all that, we made another several $1 million. So this is Paul. He cost $2 million and he's going to make me a bunch of money. That means we're going to get even more excavator power and more processing power. So now we can go through the dirt quite a bit quicker because we spent millions of dollars on this drill. That's a little better. Look at all that money we're making. And we're going to go straight down for that big guy. They're starting to turn orange, or our next gems are going to be something orange. I just broke through 2 enormous sapphires, so that's going to be a nice boost of money. And we've reached our current rope limit anyway, so back to the surface, where we have a massive pile of gems waiting to be processed. So I think we're going to try and build another one of these. We just need 4.5 million. So we're going to rely on the super worker a little bit today. If anyone can get stuff done, it's gonna be that guy. He's even pushing things over their limit. He's so good, he's even buried the other workers entirely. They're actually so backlogged that they can't move anymore. But I'll come in and steal the show by carrying giant stacks of sapphires right on my back. It's not the biggest skyscraper of money I've ever seen, but it is probably the most valuable. Almost $5 million. So we're gonna get another assembly line for that one. Then we're gonna save up another 4.5 for that. But the amber, whatever they are, worth $54,000 each. They're worth twice as much as a sapphire anyway. And it really won't actually take that long to make another $4.5 million. In the time I said that sentence, I made another one. We'll go back to zone number 2 because that's still actually able to produce some pretty good money. There's another 600 grand. Look at these idiots stuck in a mountain of ore. For now, we'll just focus on maximum penetration. We're going deep. I mean, my workers are buried alive for now anyway, so I might as well keep mining. In hindsight, it probably would have been smarter to upgrade the value of the blue stuff for now, but if you're here to watch things done right, you're in the wrong place. Although we are getting pretty close to the orange stuff now, so orange stuff is going to be okay for us. We'll just suck up these giant sapphires, and then dive right into the orange stuff. We even broke our first giant amber. That's probably worth $1 million by itself. And then it's back to the surface to help my idiots along. We do have quite the stack of gems waiting for us. And we're getting a lot of amber. While my idiots are working away, let's collect the profits. That was almost perfect. They can do something right. I'm going to fix my diamond conveyor. So now the blue gems are also worth $50,000. So I feel like I really just need to upgrade my conveyors a lot. But here's another stack of money, plus the previous areas for another $750,000. And coming back to the big money maker, we've got almost $10 million already. So let's increase the value of amber right away. Now each amber is worth $104,000, so it's only 10 to get $1 million. So profits are going to get stupid. Upgrades are getting expensive though, so we're going to have a lot more rope length and also some extra power. And we're going to start seeing a lot more amber, which is the orange stuff. Also, this drill really doesn't stop to ask questions anymore. It just plows through everything. We're probably legitimately mining at like $1 million a second right now, and we're not even into the better gems yet. There's a rope length already. We went through that pretty quick because my drill is strong, but we definitely have a nice mountain of ore to get through. And since ore is starting to pile up on that side, let's upgrade the processing machine. That's a big stack of money. That's got to be worth a lot. Well, there's an even $20 million. So let's upgrade our diamonds again. That's just going to make them worth all the more. They're now $81,000 each, and they're even cut into a prettier shape. So even just these are going to make us a fortune now, which means we need more excavator power and definitely rope leg. Then as soon as we get one big stupid rock out of the way, we'll head straight for the bottom, and we're starting to see some purple gems. And then by the time I'm back to the surface, we have a huge amount of both types of gems. So we'll take some of our profits nice and early. $15 million, and we're going back to the other stage. That was a big stack of money, but less valuable gems. That's got to be over $1 million though. I guess now we'll spend $16 million on an amethyst production line. And because of all that extra work, we've hired Robert. Now we have 3 fairly useless idiots doing all the work for us. Each amethyst, without any upgrades, is $126,000. So in the time it took me to hire another worker, we've made another $8 million. I'm going to upgrade Mark once and maybe Paul once just so they can get a little bit more done. Then it's probably just a bunch more rope length. And then back to my favorite place in the world. Look at all the amethyst we're going through. When I get to the surface, I really need to try and upgrade the amethyst processor. This will be worth so much money. I've completely zoned out and just been mining through purple stuff for the past little while, and it's been fantastic. In fact, we're going to go to the surface and see what that's all about, also because I really want to try and get this upgraded soon. That's not a huge stack of money, but that's got to be worth a few bucks. There's $11 million. $32 million to upgrade that thing. Okay, it's going to take a minute. But also not really. We do make like $1 million a second, and that's without really trying. Like by the time I was done this sentence, there's another $8 million, which is $10 million, which is a third of the way there. That was easy now that we pretty much run out of purple ore to sell for a minute. We're going to upgrade that amethyst conveyor. $250,000 each, so every 4 resell is $1 million. We've got even more power, so we're really going to send this stuff flying around. I think this time we're going to go for the undercut strategy. I'll just kind of tunnel my way along like that and break through to the surface, and everything will fall down below me anyway, and it's just a really efficient way to mine. At least that's what I tell myself, but it is very satisfying to dive into a giant pile of valuables. And the ground down here pretty much is made of purple stuff, which is hugely valuable right now. And there we go, another sea of stuff to soak up. Which definitely means we got a lot to process through. So I'm going to upgrade my processing machine. These things are really chewing through the ore in a hurry now, so we can really stack it up. Plus I've got the super idiot running around also helping, and he can overload things. Long story short, this is the big stack of money. That's going up quick. There's 25, 30, $40 million. And by the time I ran back here, basically another 18 million. So we're going to go ahead and upgrade Amethyst again. That's going to be worth even more. About $400,000 each. So 3 of them now was worth well over $1 million. And I've still got a lot of purple stuff to get through. So like I actually just ran to the bottom and back again, and there's already another $8 million. So we're in good shape. Since we've got all this money, we might as well go for it on the drill upgrades and also rope length. Hey, you know what? Everything. I'm sure by the time I'm back to the surface, there'll just be more stuff to do. Wow, this extra power really works. But rope length wasn't as long as I thought it might have been. But somehow we're still allowed to go deeper. That extra drill power really works. We're like flinging the dirt back to the surface ourselves at this point. I mostly just show up on the surface every once in a while to collect my fortune and head back underground like a subterranean mole. But now we're going real deep with a level 32 rope, and we're going to upgrade that a few more times, and you know what, more rope. Pretty sure with those upgrades we will legitimately be able to go like right to the bottom. This thing really is going for it. So this time let's see if we can legitimately go like all the way down to the bottom of the length. Starts to get a little hard at this point because all the ore is kind of like forcing itself into me. But that'll make vacuuming it up easier. Works kind of like a sink trap. See, the trick is you gotta mine upwards, that way all this stuff falls down to the bottom and it's not in your way. I don't know why more people don't mine this way. Look how powerful this thing is though, it just goes straight through it like butter. I've made quite a mess down here. The game is actually lagging at this point, there's so much stuff going on. There's a lot of pieces moving the game doesn't love, so let's start to take care of some of this. 5 minutes later, got all that sucked up. Which, yeah, definitely means you have a pretty big mountain of ore here waiting to be processed. I'm going to go ahead and collect this stack of money so we can build a new one up right away. We're just being efficient with that. And that's a lot of money. That's $43 million. And our previous stack of money is almost off the screen at this point. That's going to be a lot. Almost $2 million. I didn't realize I could have been upgrading my character so cheaply this entire time, considering how much money we have. This would have made things faster. Yeah, I'm like a lightning bolt now, and I can stack up this much on my back. So yeah, I wish I did this a long time ago. But you know what, that doesn't really matter because now, look at all that money we just made again. $10 million per upgrade? Okay, we're going to work in the vacuum. We're definitely going to need a little bit more rope length. I can't believe I managed to spend that money that quickly, but we upgraded our drill power a lot, so this thing's even quicker now. Yeah, the game doesn't love that. That's a little better. Once we start to get some of that stuff actually off the screen, it's happy again. Okay, back on the surface, got a lot piled up. There's a lot of gems over there. We're going to be pretty rich after this. That's a big stack of very valuable money. This one's going to be worth a lot. There's 40 million, 50 million, 60, 70, 80 million. That's got to be over 90 million. It's just that easy. Because there's something wrong with me, I just built up another absolute skyscraper of cash. The game's even telling me at this point, expand your area, stop doing this. So just a few more gems and we'll do exactly that. $200 million should get us to where we're going. It's 120 million just to open this area. So let's see what kind of new gems await us down below. It's very yellow stuff. And our original rope length isn't going to get us very far into it. Okay, we're going to throw our first stack onto the conveyor, figure out what this is and what it sells for. Definitely going to need some upgrades. This is way too slow. And well, to start with, these are worth $500,000 each, so that's a nice bonus. So that's another $7 million, and that was just like the little surface of this area. Luckily, I brought some extra cash with me just so we could do this a little quicker. Naturally, I went ahead and spent like $80 million on a bunch of upgrades. It's going to take us considerably past where we're supposed to be right now. To balance it out though, I did forget to hire workers, so we're going to have to do a lot of this work ourselves. Okay, this bit of ore will definitely get us going. I've also brought in a supermoron to help us along. We'll take the money we have for now, which was actually $7.78 million. This is why I feel like I should have spent more time in this area, because I could have stacked up a lot more money very easily, but I can still go back every once in a while for another easy 20 million. $32 million doesn't go nearly as far as you think it would. But I guess we are starting to produce it pretty quickly. There's an easy 30. I really think I need to upgrade the conveyor. $8 million, that was $24 million for 2 upgrades. But it can hold a lot more and it will process it quicker. And basically by the time I did that, I made another 20 million, so I think I'm on easy street. While we're waiting for things up on the surface to get going, we're going to keep mining deeper and we're already starting to see red gems. Without an upgraded drill too, it's also a little bit harder to do my old mining strategy. It'll still kind of work, but it's a lot slower. And we're absolutely going to Scrooge McDuck this one. Even a small little stack of cash is still worth a lot. There's a $90 million we need to upgrade this so we get better quality gold. We could set up the ruby production line. We need more money for our gold right now. Now the gold coins, they're worth almost $1 million each. And that's good because we have a lot of them. Kinda wish I didn't just pick all those up. Well, I'm waiting to get rid of all this ore off my back, but I did just get another 50 million for that and there's still a lot more to process. I just spent a fortune upgrading the processing machine itself, so now it's going to go through stuff much faster. And we go back to making money stupidly quick, almost $90 million. We're producing gold faster than the truck can take it away at this point. Each one of these almost $1 million. I could probably just stand here and get money inserted into me at regular intervals. That should be almost $40 million for that truckload. Which means we have the $100 million we need for the ruby conveyor. Them at their base is worth a little bit closer to $1 million than the gold. So while my precious idiot up top is busy dealing with that stuff, I'm going to continue to give him more stuff to work with. And we're about to run into a lot of ruby, so hopefully I can get some hundreds of millions of dollars to upgrade the ruby conveyor. It's very satisfying knowing how much all this is going to be worth once I actually get it processed. Well, that's a big stack of ore, and that's a big stack of gems. We're going to have to call in the big guns for a sec. I'm going to load the rubies on the conveyor myself because these are worth a fortune. Like, this stack of money doesn't look like much. We've seen much bigger, but that's already 65 million. I feel like we're going to be a billionaire before we know it. Plus, I still have a mountain of ore to get through. Okay, that was worth $130 million just like that, and that's good because we can upgrade the ruby conveyor. Now every ruby we sell is almost $2 million, and we're going to mine a lot of those. Like, even in the little time it took to do a circle, I made another $45 million. So, idiot John needs a friend. We're going to hire him a $40 million friend and upgrade him for $12 million. Now hopefully I can just do a little bit less of the work myself. And another circle around my area, and there's 140 million. I just spent another 100 million on rope length, so we have $200 million in the bank, so we need to go deeper. And I'm starting to see the next gem. I think it's an emerald. It definitely appears to be emerald. I can see it starting in the bottom of the screen. The production line for emerald is $320 million. Again, that sounds like a lot of money, but we probably have a few hundred million sitting right here. Well, we had 140 million, which absolutely gives us enough to build an emerald conveyor. And each emerald is worth $2.2 million. I hired the super worker. He already made us another 150 million, and we've got a ton of money and ore sitting right here. Basically circled the area again, and there's another 130 million. Quickly saved up $400 million. That means we could probably get a little more rope length and drill power. Then it's time we dive into an absolute monstrosity of an emerald mine. The ground through this stretch is pretty much green, and that's good for us. We also have a few massive emeralds sitting here, and that's worth a lot. There might actually be $1 billion in loose ore sitting at the bottom of this. I guess we'll know for sure very, very soon. It definitely seems like a big pile. And the ore on the other side is definitely filling up. So we'll take these emeralds over ourselves just because it's so satisfying to watch them go. I need quicker trucks. That's the biggest holdup at this point. We're stacking the gems up so quickly the trucks can't take them fast enough. And there's still an absolute mountain of emeralds sitting there. That is a really big stack of really valuable money. So let's see what we got. There's 100 million, 200 million, 300 million, 400 million. Well, I'm pretty sad because we fell a little bit shy of the $1 billion mark, but that's $850 million. And that was from one mining episode, and we haven't even processed through it. But it took like 10 seconds later, and we're officially a billionaire. So next time we'll find even bigger, better stuff. I click one time, I get one donut. And in doing so, I've achieved grandma. Then it rains donuts when we get rich. I like where this is going already. We're just gonna continue to click donuts. And for $10, we can just straight up buy a grandma, just like in real life. Now we make 1.6 donuts per second, and I don't have to click at all anymore. And I got a star, so I bought 2.5% reduced upgrade prices. And it's raining donuts again. There's a few thousand easy ones. Does grandma get an upgrade every 10 levels? It doesn't seem so. Each one of these is plus 1 click power, so we're gonna get another 11 click power. That's gonna help us make some money. Oh, I have 15 gems as well, so we're gonna spend that on more gems. I'm confused how that works, but that's okay. We're gonna buy a beginner clicker now. That's gonna add me 17 per second. So as far as I can tell, whatever currency it is can buy any of these. So I'm maybe going to go for more clicks because I have a feeling it's going to be a clicky day. We can actually afford some pretty nice stuff like amateur clicker. We're skipping right over some of them. I do find it strange it doesn't actually show us what our per click is, but I know it's getting up there. So this actually adds 20 donuts per second every time we buy it. This adds 5 donuts per second, so buying 4 of those was cheaper than one of those. And the donut rain came in again and gave us 4,000 donuts. Then now we can add an extra 50 per second, went from 70 to 122. And in case you didn't think this game had any depth to it, this thing just keeps going and going and going and going and going. Like, it's actually going through all of the letters now. That's down to T, T, U, U, V, V, Z, Z. That's like one with a trillion zeros after it. And that really excites me. And I'm going to keep reducing the cost of upgrade prices. If I keep reducing the cost of upgrade prices, eventually they'll hopefully be free. Oh, this actually adds 100 click power. So that's not bad, especially if I use the auto clicker, which I fixed. That's easier. The sound, the chaos, it's raining donuts. I think next I'm going to save up for more experience though. That one's expensive, but the more experience we get earlier on, the better. So these gems I've been collecting are like time skips, so I'm going to save that for later when we need them more. Challenger clicker, this adds 750 per second, so that's just about 1,000 donuts per second. With a few of these, 1,000 per second. And well, we can just do that and then we get many thousands per second. So we could definitely do this to get some extra clicking power. I don't know what we're getting now, but it's considerably more again. Now we're making more like almost 50,000 per second, so that's escalating fast. And it's only going to take us a couple more seconds to reach Donut Millionaire, for which we got some kind of achievement, which I missed, and we're getting 14,000 per falling donut. We can now get champion clicker, that's 2,500 per second, so we're just going to overload on that. So now we're up to 14,000 per second without doing any clicking. Of course, if we click, it goes way, way higher. But I kind of want more clicking power because clicking's kind of where our money's coming from right now. So we're, yeah, legitimately at probably 100,000 per second, so every 10 seconds is a million. And now we can upgrade again. That's going to give me 10,000 click power, so we're going to go ahead and buy that, and now we're at close to 1,000,000 per second. And that's the kind of donut spawning I like to see. It's kind of hypnotic if you just stare into the hole and watch it shake. But we're going to need more than that. We currently have 23 million donuts. This adds 25,000 per second, so we'll just overdose on that. Now even in the background, we're going to make 1,000,000 every 5 seconds. And I accidentally auto-clicked this, but I wanted to. Now we're getting 2.5% more experience. And we've got a long ways to go. This costs 1.73 million, so we're going to buy a lot of that. And I don't know what we're getting per click now, but it's got to be a lot. I don't know if we're quite at 5 million per second, but we're close to 5 million per second, which means we've unlocked the legend clicker, $32 million, but that by itself adds 500,000 per second. So every second, 700,000 donuts. So even if we just let the game run overnight, it would make us an absolute fortune. So we'll buy a few more levels of that, 1.71 per million every single second. I felt like celebrating us hitting 100 million donuts again, so now we have a yellow donut. So let's buy a little more experience. That's just a good investment. And then it's back to clicking. The next thing costs 231 million, so that's really only going to take a couple more seconds. And I really hope it increases my clicking power, because we don't, that gives you 1 million clicking power. So even without the auto clicker, that's stupid, but with the auto clicker, it's somewhere beyond stupid. So we're quickly closing in on billionaire status. I thought that would take us a lot longer to get here, but here we are. So I'll buy another level of this. 2 million per click. We basically just doubled our production, and now we've tripled it. I'd say that's legitimately 100 million per second at this point. Oh, this is adding 10 million per second. I was clicking on the wrong one. I was wondering why the thing wasn't going up quicker. It's the middle of the night. I'm very tired. Math isn't easy at the best of times. But now we're making, I don't know what that is, almost $500 million per second. So let's add extra donuts per second in the background. So 61 million every single second. And that quickly gave us a 10 billion we need for Divine Clicker. That's 100 million per second. There's a gummy bear for 925 million that automatically clicks for me, but he doesn't do it quick enough for me, and I can't respect a gummy bear enough to let it work by itself. It does click once every few seconds, so that will add up over time for sure. Okay, these cost 705 million each, and that's already well over $1 billion, but now our clicks are worth much, much more. I was just worried about the amount of time it's going to take to save up $32 billion. Now it's only going to be a couple seconds. And that was Easy Lethal Cursor. That's going to add 100 million click power. I don't know where we're getting now, but I don't think it's 100 million. No, it sure is. And off. Wow, look at the billions go now. There's another 30 billion. So we're probably definitely going to milk this one for a little while. Okay, we hit $250 billion in no time at all, so more Lethal Cursor for us. And the income goes up even more. Probably about 50 billion per second at this point, so we've gone to almost $500 billion now. And 2.5% more experience earned. Look at this upgrade. 5 billion donuts per second. We're at 161 million now, so that's a massive upgrade. But when you got an auto clicker, you gotta use it. That's the law. Plus the sound of clicking on the donuts is probably doing irreparable harm to my hearing. But then again, I don't really need ears to play clicker games anyway. We're officially a trillionaire. So we're going to upgrade our cursor a lot, because that's just making us lots of money, and we're going to be a trillionaire again very soon. We're making almost $100 billion a second. The next upgrade does cost 37 trillion though. That's actually a lot. So for now, let's spend $2 trillion on clicker upgrades, which actually wasn't that many. So we'll buy a few of these to get our per second in the background up a little bit. That's certainly going to add up. But the clicker is still cheaper to buy, so we're going to continue buying that. Wonder how many of these gummy bears I'm allowed to buy. Just endless amounts? Because I've got lots of trillions of dollars to spend on these. And now the gummy bear is actually clicking pretty quickly all by itself. Oh, it maxes out at 25 levels, but I mean, for the amount of money we're getting per click, that's actually going to give us a lot. So I feel like this is normally about the part where you would prestige, we get 138% bonus. But instead of prestiging now, why don't I just go like this and let this run for the next 12 hours and then come back and prestige to great results. Fingers crossed that this is the night my computer lights on fire and burns the house down. A short 12 hours later, we have 2.46 trillion donuts. So instead of having 200 donuts if we prestige, we have more like 47,000. And I've got a few points to spend here. So about 50 levels of extra experience, and then I'm just going to add extra power to clicking. And I'm probably just going to auto-click my way to the end. It's just a flat cost of 1, so you can just buy them pretty much endlessly. It's still going and going and going. So the experience meter at the top is moving again quite quickly. Maybe I should have put more into experience, but I'm not sure it matters. We can't actually afford the next upgrade yet. Well, now we can. That gives me 10 quintillion donuts per second. This gives me 1 quintillion clicking power, so obviously that's the one we need to buy because then we can start the number moving again in a big way. And we've just made 50 times what we made in the last 12 hours. And that's with the godly clickers, so we'll buy more of that to get us our donuts per second going up, and our cosmic cursor, of course, we need lots of that, but we're paying for levels of itself even without clicking. When we do click, of course, there's 100 sextillion, there's 200 sextillion, and then we can get more upgrades. The next one costs, well, there it is, 462, and that gives me 1 sextillion clicking power, so that's going to get even stupider again. This costs 231 septillion, which we can afford. That gives me 1 sextillion donuts per second. But we're really just here for the clicking power, let's face it. And I can add auto-clicking gummy bears at this point. Kind of forgot they existed. These only cost quadrillions of dollars, so they won't even move my money. So I got 70 levels of the pink one. We can already afford the blue one. I'm not sure how much he's going to click, but any extra clicking helps. And they actually go really fast. I'm not even auto-clicking right now. If I do, I still make more money, but them by themselves are actually pretty efficient. And we click away till we have about an octillion dollars, and then we can buy a reborn cursor. That gives me 1 septillion clicking power. And as soon as we do that, the gummy bears are actually making so much money, they're paying for their own upgrades. Like, I don't have to do anything because the gummy bears are doing it all for me now. The game's playing itself truly. Alright, we'll add a little bit of clicking now. Now we're into the hundreds of octillions. We just broke $1 octillion dollars, and now we're already smashing through it. We're at half a nonillion. But since we are getting these annoying little slowdowns, now that we've hit $1 million, it's time to restart for extra clicking power. So to start, one click is $13,700, so that's pretty much going to be our multiplier. I've only clicked a few times and we've gone way past grandma. We've gone all the way down to champion clicker, but that's not good enough, so we're just going to head and click our way down to whatever we can afford, and then we're going to start on that one. Okay, we've already made millions of dollars. We made tens of millions of dollars. We can buy master clicker and super cursor, legend clicker, and then we're just going to keep clicking. Do we still have all of our points in here? We do. Gummy bears reset, but that's okay. We can buy new ones. Okay, we're very much a billionaire. I haven't even used an auto clicker yet, not even close. The multiplier is really doing its job for us. Okay, we're no trillionaires. This is going to add 5 billion per second. I don't know, times tens of thousands probably. This is 100 billion clicking power, but it actually equals a lot more. We're making quadrillions of dollars per click. This one adds 100 trillion clicking power, and I just bought 60 levels of it, so if I go like that, there's 6 trillions of dollars. It took us 14 hours yesterday to make this much money. We just did it in like 60 seconds. We can buy the universal cursor, 1 sextillion click power. We bought 6 levels of that, and look at the money go. There we're back to the octillions already. A few of these, and then a few of these. These are supposed to add a septillion clicking power, but it's a lot more. Okay, there's a nonillions. We have officially more money than we did before. And 30 nonillion is a very, very big number. It's hard to even fathom how big that is. So now we're going to start adding octillion clicking powers, and we're making distillions of dollars per second. I like how every time I move over, I can just straight up scroll down and buy whatever I want, really. So I'll buy a few more levels there, and now we're making AAs. We're making As per second. Well, we've officially reached the max level donut, which is simply an everything donut. I forgot about the gummy bears, so we should probably buy a few of those. I'm just going to auto-click them till hopefully they're maxed or not maxed or whatever they do. They go to pretty high levels, so these might get expensive. I guess even if they do get expensive, they'll pay for themselves, but I have enough money I can already buy almost 100 levels of yellow gummy bears. And that means I can be even lazier if I want to. Like, I don't have to use my auto-clicker anymore. I'm not sure it makes a difference. So I'm mostly going to stay over here and buy like unknowing clicker. That's going to add a lot because the gummy bears are all clickers. Oh, this is adding per second though, not per click. So we're still making a lot of money without clicking, but we're also clicking a lot, so adding powerful cursors to that is certainly going to help. Look how many levels we can buy. This is supposed to be a new upgrade that's very expensive, and we can just click till 40 levels. Okay, well I'm going to only buy Grandma 2s. It's a new and improved Grandmas. And then we're just going to buy 1 AA clicking power per second. So there's 20 times also 14,000. So I don't know, 28,000 AAs per second, which I think might put it into BBs, which is why we're into the CCs. But this is all getting a little bit confusing for my coffee-addled brain. Long story short, I'm just going to start working my way downwards, and we're just going to keep on clicking on things. This adds 1 BB click power per second. So there's 20 levels of that. Now we're going to add 1 CC power per second. I think we probably need to buy more gummy bears. This might also max out. No, it doesn't max out at 100. I don't know how quick you can end up clicking, but that's actually going to start eating up my money. 150. So yeah, I'm not sure my auto clicker makes any difference at all right now. They're clicking so fast that there might not be any more room. This is going to add 1 CC per second, though we are into EEs. And the next one costs 850, so we are still waiting for a minute for upgrades again. But it's never very long before we afford the next one. This is going to add 1 DD clicking power. We're going to buy a lot. We have 30 FFs. I guess my extra clicking power is probably also carrying us through this, because this is pretty much all I upgraded. And we got 25 more of these to spend, so we will maybe spend on discounted upgrades to try and make them a little cheaper so we can get closer to them. Turns out that maxes out at level 25. This probably doesn't have a top. We have more idle money and more gem drop chance. I'd rather just have more experience and, I don't know, more gems. So the next one costs 3.75 GGs, which is actually taking a little bit of time to get to. I didn't realize this whole time there was more stuff. I thought this was only time skips you could use with diamonds. You could buy all sorts of things. Like a pink package contains a few large items, sure. Purple package contains a few medium items, and this one has a few small items. So let's open those up and see. We got bombs, and okay, these just summon gold donut rain, so that just gives us an extra boost. That's not nearly as exciting as I thought it might be. These do give instant clicks of money, but we're clicking so quick anyway, I'm not sure it matters. We can finally afford the holy cursor though. We can almost buy 2 levels of them. In fact, we can, especially with the extra clicking power we're giving ourselves. Okay, we can also add 5 minutes of idle donuts if we want, and that's not really moving the number because our idle numbers aren't nearly as good as our clicking numbers. Mysterious Brew though, rebirth without resetting your progress. So if we do that now, we can add a lot of extra clicking power. So yeah, let's try that. Okay, we just rebirth, so the number should be considerably higher than it was. I mean, we can afford this guy now, and we can afford him again, so clearly that did make a pretty big difference. That is, I didn't use it yet. Don't worry about that. We're gonna do it now. And we'll take, I don't know, an extra 10 minutes of idling, and now we should be able to afford him easier. You know, the Prestige didn't do as much as I thought it would that time. It still did a lot, but I thought it would do a lot more for us. I guess I do have 500 GGs of money, which is an absolutely ridiculous amount, so it's not like I haven't made any progress. The next upgrade costs 19 HHs, so it's definitely going to take a minute to get there. We saved up about 2 before I started buying upgrades again. I realized in the options menu I could actually turn down the particle amount because I turned it up at the beginning because I'm stupid. Now the game might run just a hair faster, and the faster it can go, the more money we can make. And I'm going to use my auto clicker for assistance because it at the very least makes a difference to how much experience I'm getting, and we unlock the cosmic cursor. That adds 1 FF of clicking power, so now if I do this, we'll make that money back in no time at all and move on to bigger, better numbers. Also, manually clicking, as in my auto clicker, might also get us more for prestiges. Well, whatever the case, I'm going to buy a whole bunch more cosmic cursors because I can afford it. No, it's getting expensive fast, but look at all the money we're making. We've made 1.5 IIs. I don't know how big of a number that is anymore, but it's really big. I just bought 1 level of champion clicker that took us from like 3 AFFs per second to 760, and we're going to buy 1 more, so we're at 1.2 GGs per second. It's been a few short minutes, but we're still only at 7 IIs. We need 3.75 JJs for the next upgrade, so we need to make like 1,000 times what we have now. But that's okay, because I think we can afford a Mysterious Brew at this point. And that can add a 49,000% increase. So I went ahead and used that, and our income seems to have moved up. It's definitely going quicker, but it's still not quick enough to make me feel good about getting here quickly. So we need to save up some rebirth donuts again, so I'm just going to sit back, relax, let it do its thing for a little bit. A few minutes later, we're still saving up the 3.75 JJs we need. Rebirth progress isn't a problem. We're going to get 315,000 of this. So if we use one of these, that gave us over 3 times the bonus that we initially had, so that should hopefully get us a little more progress. But when in doubt, we just buy Cosmic Cursor, another 20 levels. I guess I could also buy background earnings. I'm not sure if it's worth it at this point, just because our gummy bears give us so much clicks. I just realized my gummy bear thing had been scrolled down, so I missed the green gummy bear this entire time. He doesn't click real fast, but he certainly helps out, and he would have made a big difference over the past several hours. Just for fun, I decided to make it rain donuts a whole bunch, because that might actually give me a little bit of progress. You know what, that worked out so well. I'm going to do that again, but with 25 cookies, donuts, and then the donut rain comes, and we're going to grab all that because we have all the diamonds to spend anyway, and actually that added up to a lot of money. Which means we can finally afford the Master Clicker too. That costs 3.75 JJs, but it's going to give me 1 GG per click, so now we're making stupid amounts of money, even compared to what we just were. So let's see if we can sort of do that again. I just bought 30 presents. That means we can drop 150 55 golden candies for Donut Rain. So let's see if we can get all those down before they start falling. Nope, can't do it. Well, we did about 100 of them and we can't even click them all. They're falling so quickly, but look at all the money we're gonna make. So we could buy more master clickers, that's for sure. And now we're clicking way faster than before. We're gonna do that one more time. Maybe just one more time with another 50 of those things and just for fun. The next upgrade costs 19k Ks. Like we're a fifth of the way to 1k. And then we still gotta go through all these levels too. If I prestige now, I can add another 25,000 to the bonus, which does help a little bit, but not enough to get us to where we're going in a hurry. I just realized I've been really stupid and clicked right over universal click cursor. I went to master clicker for some reason instead of clicking on this, which is what I actually needed to be clicking on. So that should help a little bit. I'm being stupid. That should help a lot. I'm just trying to convince myself I didn't just actually do that. But now we can already afford another level of that, and we're suddenly on to much bigger progress. So let's try the Donut Rain thing here and see that, yeah, that's getting somewhere. We made, well, 3/4 of 1kk. It's still a little bit slower than what it could be though. We've made almost 2kks now, but that's still only 2kks. But say we were to just restart with all of our bonuses intact at level 2202, one click gets us 245,000. I just wanted to emphasize how strong we actually are. To the point where we can just work our way down the list with only a few small clicks, and we're already into the millions, and then we're going to be into the billions before you know it. As we click, we should basically unlock the next thing because our bonus is so stupidly big at this point. All it would take is a few auto clicks to get us going again, especially with hyper cursor. We already have trillions, quadrillions, quintillions of dollars. Well, it only took us a few seconds to get back to the octillions, which I can just spend on grandmas, and grandmas can fuel us into bigger, better futures. I just bought 329 grandmas, so I've accomplished something here today. So naturally, this is a great time to just let the game run in itself. We'll come back in 2, 3, 10 years and see how much money we have. Every once in a while, I shoot out one of those big blue bullets that tries to come back to me. But my projectiles are all slow, so they can't actually catch up with me, which means I can stack those big blue projectiles out there endlessly. So that means there is an absolute mega amount of damage in those blue bullets, and we're firing more and more all the time. They're always trying to get to me, but they'll never get there. So I can steer them through bosses and enemies, and they're absolutely destroying everything because there's like a million of them already stacked up. Take this pretentious moron with the health bar. See how I barely hurt him with my attack, but the blue bullets melted him? That's why I've been stacking blue bullets for quite a while, and why I'm going to keep stacking them forever. I do think this is a great way of breaking the game because I'm pretty sure those blue bullets are going to be able to eviscerate anything we're going to come across. Plus I have a little helper running around picking up ground collectibles for me, so I don't have to worry about going to grab them myself. I can just worry about staying away from my blue bullets. Okay, here comes the sheriff. We're going to try and get those blue bullets into him. There goes half his health, and he seems to have... Oh, he's dead. The blue bullets killed him. Oh, wait, he's back. There's more for him. Okay, have some blue bullets then. We're just going to kite the blue bullets around in circles on him. He might actually be somewhat immune to those for a second. Let's lead back through. He's taking more damage. It's going to get harder and harder to do this. Because my bullets themselves might not do a lot to him, but the purple blue bullets certainly will. Alright, have some blue bullets. He's dead. Oh, that was like the final boss, so that was easy. Sometimes the enemies do get a little bit quick, so my bullets have a hard time catching them, but my projectiles do also slow enemies down, so then the bullets do catch them and they melt. Like here's a devil guy. Those guys are pretty quick, and we slowed him down, the bullets ran him over, and we got his chest. Well, the blue bullets were fun for killing bosses. For regular enemies, they're falling down a little bit because they just can't really cover enough of the different idiots. But anyways, I'm going to give up this run because I wasn't actually trying to do anything here except unlock a new character, which we did. This character, every time you move 2 meters, load your next shot with 2 more projectiles, max 3 times. That's something I can definitely live with, and they're very, very quick. So they basically turn their gun into a shotgun. Normally it's 1 at a time, you move 2 meters, more shots. So you gotta move, shoot, rinse, repeat. There's no legendary options here, so that's not gonna work at all. Though we re-rolled and projectiles bounce 1 more time, so I'll take that. Because I assume that means all my projectiles bounce 1 more time. Against single enemies, that's not much, but against hordes of enemies, that's gonna be lots. Aside from that, we're just gonna start stacking up damage. The more damage we have, the better everything is. Though movement speed would also be good on this, we'll cover that distance a lot quicker. So we can go like that, and we're already way up here, and then we fire more projectiles. This reduces the cooldowns of dashes and abilities by 15%. I don't know if that's considered like an ability I can do that with. I'm not gonna risk it, I'm just gonna give myself more damage. You just can't go wrong with damage. You need so much of it anyway, because then things die quicker and things get easier. If you don't do enough damage, things don't die. We're gonna gain more attack speed because we're not the quickest attacker. But that's okay, we kind of work in bursts. We take a few steps and fire again, take a few steps, fire again, and then they die. Whenever you take damage, triple your attack speed for 5 seconds, plus we gain 1 max health. So if we do get hurt, we'll hopefully blast out in a flurry and get away from the damage. Gain a little bit more damage, we're now up to 80 damage. Leveled up again, we'll get projectiles bounce one more time again, so they're definitely getting bouncy. They're going to start to swarm, especially with the amount we fire. Our DPS is probably already pretty stupid actually when I think about it. More damage again. Given all the new items and stuff we can find, I think it's probably wisest to stack damage for now until we pick a more clear direction. Okay, damage. Well, maybe we'll take some attack speed this time. It wasn't a huge upgrade, but that's going to make a big difference DPS-wise. Gain much more attack speed. We're going from 2.25 a second to 3.25 a second, so our attack speed just went way up. Permanently raise your attack speed by 30%, but half of your shots are less precise. See if I care. I fire a whole flurry of them anyway. And it's just a little spray and pray. That's the way I usually work anyway. Critical shots deal 100% more damage, so that's a 50% increase on crits. This would probably be good for bosses too, because I can avoid their attacks with all my speed, then turn and do a big shot on them, and then move again before they hit me. Projectiles bounce one more time. They are now up to 3 bounces. So that's going to help with crowd control in a big way. Okay, another bounce again. Should we do it? 4 bounces? Yeah, 4 bounces is necessary. We gotta stack something for fun. I know we're on like easy mode and the character's pretty overpowered as it is, but this has been really easy so far. Shots pierce through one more enemy. Yeah, why not? They're gonna bounce and pierce. Tomato Man! We're gonna get up close to him. Okay, we're gonna get up close and blast him again. Look at all these upgrades. Projectiles bounce one more time. Yeah, okay, we'll take 5 bounces. Why wouldn't we? And we'll get the Tomato Man real dead. There we go, a couple more hits. Get up close to him, kablamo. Here's a risky one. Before you dash, take 1 damage but permanently gain 5 default damage. I think we can do that because we have the movement speed. So every once in a while we can go like that and we gain some damage. We have the movement speed that we don't really need dashes, at least not yet. So that's a good way to add damage to ourselves, but we're going to also need to add health to ourselves then also. We're also going to add a bit more movement speed then too, just to be sure that we don't really need the dash as much as we used to. This will definitely be an interesting build. We need lots of hearts to start dropping on the ground so we can increase our damage. For now, I will settle for you get 1 more choice for every selection, so that just means more rare and useful upgrades. Hopefully lots of legendaries. Hopefully nothing but legendaries, but we'll see how lucky we actually get. Look at all the choices though. So we'll probably just add more damage again. You can never have too much of that. Another level up, we're going to add 1 HP, so we're at 4 or 6. I'm going to try a dash real quick. Yep, that just straight up added 5 damage. Plus that also hurts us, so we get an attack speed boost for a second, which is bad news for the enemies. This one's kind of interesting. Heal for 1 after you dash, so we'll hurt ourselves but get our health back. We'll gain 1 dash, we get a longer cooldown, but we can reduce the cooldown anyway. And we don't really need the dashes, they're pretty much just supplementary at this point. I don't know, we'll figure out how this goes. It's pretty chaotic so far. I'm just going to add more damage again, so we're up to 130 base damage now. If I dash some more, we'll get more. But I'm not sure if I healed last time I dashed, so I'm a little worried about that. We'll take a heart and then we can dash. So we're at 4 of 6, and we stayed at 4 of 6 and got damage. Great. So every 30 seconds we can add 5 damage is what I'm understanding this to be. On this one I'm actually going to add crit chance. I didn't realize we only had 5% crit chance. Now we have 10%, so 1 in 10 shots is now a crit, which is pretty big. I think the best way to use this character with this build is probably just to zoom around like this, wait for them to get a little bit bunched up, and then unleash the chaos because we got lots of bouncy bullets. And we can do a lot of good crowd control that way. Okay, we're going to take a little bit more health again here too, because we can use all that to turn into damage. We're going to use a dash here. We're going to let the boss show up and miss them with all of our shots for some reason because we decided we don't know how to aim for a sec. But we can also use our dash like that too when we need a little bit of extra DPS for a sec, like that, and then rain on them. This boss is always a little bit tough at this point. Not tough, but they have a lot of health. It does take a second to get through. It was the same last time, even with my big blue bullets. It takes the time it takes. It's actually going considerably faster than last time. Oh, and I have one of my dashes just about up. So we'll dash towards the boss and get some easy damage down. I think they're dead because my bouncy bullets will go ahead and pick it up and hopefully we get something amazing. There's a lot of good choices here. Spawns an invincible minion that picks up coins for you, moves slower, inflicts 50% damage when it... Yeah. So now I don't have to worry about picking up coins anymore. He's going to do that for me. So I just need to remember to keep dashing and reduce my cooldowns whenever I can. Didn't mean to do that. But reduction cooldown means more damage long term. Do we take... We'll take more damage. We still need damage no matter what we do, and that also makes our little blue guy deal more damage. But like now, I have a dash, I've got to use that. That added 5 base damage though, and we didn't take any damage. The 30% cooldown kind of hurts on that though, so we're going to try and take that down as big as we can. The little blue guy really is nice though. Like, I don't at all have to worry about picking up coins anymore. I need to remember he's there doing it for me. I guess projectiles bounce one more time. They're getting pretty bouncy at this point, but that just means a lot more DPS for us. Yeah, obviously we got a little boss sitting here. We'll just slowly shoot through them. Actually, we do also have a dash up, so we can go like that and get right in their face and really take out their health, and that gave us more damage. Do we want to triple our shots? I think we kind of do. Triple our shots, but reduce our attack speed by 40%. Because we're not really built for attack speed. We're supposed to just run and stop for a burst, and then run and stop for a burst. So when you do that, we're going to fire even more projectiles now, kind of like this. And with all those bounces, we fire like 1,000,000 at once. And we're going to take the purple, gain a lot more damage. We're going to go from 170 to 190. That's a big increase. Maybe we should just go ahead and see how many bullets we could possibly get to spawn all at once. I bet you it's quite a few. This character is actually so fast that we're starting to run into things accidentally. Base damage is 195, but I bet we can get it so much higher. We're about to finish off Idiot Stick as soon as he comes just a little closer. Okay, here's a good one. Reduce the cooldowns of dashes and abilities by 10%. That's going to knock 3% off of our dash cooldown. And that's going to work out to a lot of extra damage over the next little while. I'm going to reroll these because I feel like we could probably get a legendary. Well, we got some blue ones at least. We'll take your projectiles slow down enemies by 70%. We fire a lot of projectiles so the enemies will at least be slow, which means we need to dash less to get out of the way. Speaking of which, there's an extra 5 damage plus all that extra insta damage. Another level up, let's take attack speed. I know attack speed isn't really the biggest thing on this build, but it still will help. This will be a satisfying big cluster of enemies, and melted. We'll just take some extra dashes for now because I'm liable at some point to forget I have them. And then we'll be able to use a whole bunch at once to get some extra damage going. That guy's pretty strong. He's also slowed at this point, so he's very slowly waddling toward us dying. Permanently augments your damage by 30%, reduces your attack speed by 20. I think we can take that because we're just going to do burst fires anyway. All our damage comes from right there when we stop and burst. And I've got so much health that I've developed a very lazy habit of just running into people without caring. Base damage did jump up to 286 though, so it's getting up there. We'll take crits deal 75% more damage. Since we have a solution to raise our base damage now, we might as well add some crits. The game really wants bouncy projectiles today. I think I'll just stick to damage though, thanks. 312. At least until I dash one more time, which will happen very soon. And then it's 318. Not sure how we got an extra 1 out of that deal, but I'm not going to complain. Permanently augments your damage by 20%. Projectiles are 50% slower. I don't think that's going to bother me in any capacity. I think we're going to be perfectly fine with that extra damage. None of these are super great at this point, so we're just going to take 5% crit chance. That did add 50% to our crit chance, and we got our sheriff incoming. This is just Crazy Denzel here. He's a real handful, but we mostly just have to sit right about here and shoot him a whole bunch. Our damage is high enough, he's really going down quickly. We'll just take a few steps when we need to get that extra burst. He's going to go down there. We took a hit there. That's okay. We got some HP here. As soon as he wants to show up again, we'll melt him with extra shots. This is where that extra movement speed really does come in handy. Oh, never mind. He's dead. There's a lot of good choices here, but every 1 meter deals 30% of your damage to enemies in an area around you. We're a very mobile build, so we're going to move a lot, so therefore we're going to strike a lot with that. We have high damage, so that's going to help us out. We have different enemies spawning now. There's a lot fewer of them, but they're a lot tougher. They also drop the green and purple gems instead, so we'll get a lot more experience. And we got this crazy guy. We'll get right in his face. We took off half his health just like that, and there's right about the other half. Then he'll die a graceful death. I also dashed to get myself a little extra damage. We're up to 413. This one's interesting. Gain 10% more experience from future and past coins. That should level us up then if we're getting a boost from previously acquired coins. Reduce the cooldowns of dash. So that's a full 70% of what it used to be. So we're now 30% quicker. So it's 21 seconds instead of 30. And that's just going to add a lot of damage. We're already ready to do another one. That'll take us from 421 to 429. It's adding 8 damage per dash now for some reason. I'm not going to question it. I'm just going to accept it and continue walking into people. Okay, here we go again. We got dash abilities by further 15%. So now they're at 60% reduction. 40% reduction rather. I think I'm reading that backwards. I don't know. I'm not going to try and do too much math right now. I'm already having trouble focusing and not walking into idiots. I do want more crits and crit chance though. So we're going to go like that and melt them with all the extra damage. Throw 3 knives in a random direction for each 4 meters traveled. Yeah, why not? We're traveling a lot, so that's just going to help. We don't need to stop to attack at some points now. We'll be doing continual damage that way. And another dash, that put our damage up, and more cooldown reduction. Oh, we do have good speed though too. I'm going to take this just because it's a legendary speed upgrade, which will just add a lot to our base attack. The enemies are spawning in a strange way. They're getting a little bit hard to avoid. I am also walking into them quickly though because of my ridiculous movement speed. So as per usual, I have no one but myself to blame for these things. Emits an aura that inflicts 25% of your damage to idiots around me. Damage is only going up and up, so that's only going to get better and better. Reduce the cooldown for another 10%. So basically the dash is almost down 50% now, so it's about 15 seconds instead of 30. So we're going to add whatever it is, 8 damage every 15 seconds or so for the rest of this. Well, here's another one I just can't resist. Gain much more damage. Since it's legendary 484 to 530, that added 50 damage all by itself. I just can't help myself. When I say yellow upgrade, I almost have to buy it. Okay, this will be another good test of our current damage levels. Whatever this guy is, we'll spin around him. Yeah, once we get a good volley on him, he takes massive damage. We're going to emit an aura around us that slows enemies by 35%. We'll also damage them when they get close, so that's kind of a double whammy. They get slowed and evaporated once they get in our range. Oh, and I let 2 dashes build up, so there's an extra 16 damage. Plus, we're going to do higher damage crits. And it's time for another Sheriff. This one's going to be the Undertaker, as he's called. We just took off a third of his health just with that little maneuver of ours. We got to stay out of his way, but we're a super quick character, so staying out really shouldn't be a problem. Okay, he's almost already dead. He's off his horse. Now we got to deal with whatever he's about to do. I've only fought him the previous time, so okay, well, we just got to avoid his balls. Which is pretty much as easy as sitting here. We're going to get some damage in on him here. He's really tough, actually. I never really realized how much health he had. So we sit here. Okay, he's actually getting a little bit harder to dodge. I'm not used to thinking. Oh, I'm got to be careful I don't die here. Okay, this part does actually get hard. I didn't realize that before because he didn't make it to this part. Oh, okay, watch out for the balls. Okay, we got to be careful now. Can I just sit here and spray you with this for a second? It kind of works against me throwing 3 arrows out the front like that because only one of them really hits him. I can try and get the garlic in there, but that's a risky spot to sit. The balls are going to come back in, and we might have to go through that. Hey, there's my little helper. Where's he been this whole time? He doesn't want anything to do with this battle. Okay, we're going to try and finish him here. I think we got him. And that healed us luckily too, so we're back to full health. Your shots come back to you and gain 5 piercing. Yes, they're going to go out and in like that, so it's really a good shotgun blast now. So whatever gets caught in that wave is probably going to die. We're going to have 5% more crit chance, but a lot of our early upgrades were an extra projectile bounce, and they don't bounce at all anymore, so those first 6 upgrades don't count for anything anymore. But ask me if I care. We've got so much damage now, it's almost a joke. Speaking of which, there's a free dash. There's free damage upgrade, 608 base damage now. Plus that's giving us 8 damage still every time. Okay, there's also a devil chasing us down, so we're going to try and get in his face and evaporate him. And then we're just going to straight up take a damage upgrade here, 624 to 655. That was worth a few dashes at least. Shoot an orbiting projectile regularly. I don't know if that's one of ours or just a generic one, but that's just extra damage. It's going to help. You can just never really have too many things going on, but I do still want to get my dash cooldown much lower than this. It does also kind of hurt not having the range to be able to hit people from a long ways away, so we do have to get kind of close to all the idiots. Our attack speed does kind of help with that, but it also kind of makes it dangerous to get close because it gets hard to see what's happening. Okay, cooldowns by a further 10%. Now we have an over 50% cooldown, so it's less than 15 seconds for each dash, which is an extra 8 damage each time. Okay, we already have another dash powered up, which is good because enemies are getting much more numerous. When one of your dash slots is ready, create a burst that does 100% around you and gain a dash. Okay, so every time one of my dash things recharges, we're going to get a pulse of damage. And that's going to help us out because suddenly the enemies are starting to get the edge on us. I got to remember to stay mobile. Got to keep moving, and definitely pick up hearts when I see them. We have enough damage to kill the enemies. We just, need more damage to kill more enemies, really. The Dilko Fest is coming back, and 694 base damage is pretty adequate, I've got to say. Look at all these. That's so tempting. That doesn't really mean much. That would help, but we're going an extra 15% there, so we're at 40% of what it was originally, so we had a 60% cooldown. So it only takes us 12 seconds to recharge one dash. The mini bosses are starting to stack up, so that's not great for us. We'll see if we can get some extra damage going here. Yeah, there we go. We melt that mob. Glad I have as much HP as I do now. Okay, these guys are way quicker. The new guys they added to this game are fast and tough. They really get up to you quick. Drops the dynamite before each dash, and then we gain 1 dash from that. So that's actually just going to be a little extra damage. Plus we leave some TNT behind, which is hilarious. And we're going to reduce our cooldown again. So as soon as I get out of this swarm of enemies, I will try and look over to what my my cooldown is about 63% now. Which means any effect abilities come much more often than they otherwise would. But the enemies are so much tougher than they used to be at this stage that it's getting hard to deal with. You know what, we're going to make that 803 base damage. Too bad we don't have a higher crit chance at this point. We could be doing tons of big crits. I'm probably in trouble here just based on the amount of idiots spawning in suddenly. All the bullets in the world, and it might just not be enough. Okay, we got more bosses and stuff spawning in. We got another dash built up, which you're gonna have to use. I think we dashed through some damage there. Okay, we got him. Can we kill him? I would love a chest right now. And that's it for this one. 819 base damage though. If we filmed that earlier, that could have been even better again.